is getting pretty. You're doing a phenomenal job, my man. What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? This is the morning show, and with the ATL Beard Gang. Hope y'all enjoyed your snow day. We've got a couple of folks out. Ron is taking care of family business, so Ron, I know this shouts out for you. Have a good day. And then folks, be careful on the roads because there is a wild. There's a wild T-Mobile out there. You gotta watch out for him. He might get out of the car and start breakdancing. I heard.
As you can see, the wild T-Mobile in his natural habitat, pop locks, but has been warned not to drop.
Warned not to drop. He's right.
I'm Darius
Good
Brown,
morning, everybody. Good morning.
and this is Scientific America.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Laddy Daddy, the one, the only, Ladarius. What's up, Ladarius?
More. I applaud. I took away from T. Will's introduction, but
it's all good.
It felt like a nature moment, like he's out in the wild, and Hey, folks, if you see him, approach cautiously.
With caution.
Hey, look. All I care about right now is, Will or T. Will, do not abandon your car. That's all I say.
I will not.
One long walk.
That is a very long walk, sir. I will not.
All right. If you haven't heard, yes, we have had snow. Even some parts of Florida got snow. And as T. Will fixes his phone. But yeah, we even got parts of snow.
My wife is giving me the look. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
she trying to get
I saw the look.
Yeah.
You saw the look.
I saw the look as you were adjusting, and I'm like going, somebody's getting murdered.
Oh, wow.
I am a background supporter. I do not want to be.
No, baby, you the queen.
No.
You're the queen. You're the star of any show, Kimberly. You're the star of my show. I'm sorry. That was me groveling, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you see that.
all I got is two words for that. Do better. Do better.
Oh man.
It didn't feel genuine.
Oh, stop it.
So look, if you had to deal with the snow, man, I hope y'all are staying warm and being safe. We didn't do our show yesterday, kind of for the reasons, and we just figured it'd be good to kind of just be safe and try to stay warm. And he's got the hand over the camera now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it where it's just me.
You got it.
Yeah. You fit. Make sure your ego fits in that circle as well, because we need
the beautiful thing about the circle, it may you think it's showing everything, but it's just you. So you're good.
Right.
If we had a square, we'd be screwed.
If I did square, she would not. She would like give you death glare as you're talking every time.
Yep.
So look, be careful out there. What was it? I saw where parts of Florida that Ladarius lives in even got snow.
Wait. I didn't live in those parts. So
No. I know you did. And I know you're kind of upset about that, though.
Speak for yourself, pal. Speak for yourself.
And we got Carrie coming into the building. What's up, Carrie? Hold on.
Good morning, guys. How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning, Carrie.
Morning. You staying warm? We're trying to.
Well, yes, I'm trying to. It's not quite as cold as up there, so I can't complain, but it's way too cold for my liking in Florida.
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of 30-degree weather at all. That's why I live in Florida.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Now, did you? Now I know Ladarius was telling me it was getting cold, but it didn't snow. But there were parts in Florida that did get it.
Yeah.
Did you get any, or did you just not? You just got the cold.
No, unfortunately, the Panhandle area was the area that got snow. I would have liked to experience that because that's like a once in a lifetime thing. I think they broke the record. No, but Ladarius, like snow on the beach, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
cool,
the-
but the thing is, listen, I'm not anti-snow, but
me,
I'm just staying away from the snow. So
right,
that
me too. But it would have been cool to go on the beach and literally see snow on, like falling on the beach. Like that's just so rare. I feel like.
I cracked up at seeing the people going, "Oh, watch him slide off to the thing," and next thing you know, they're saying, "Oh, we have to be careful. We might go into the ocean." I'm going, "Oh yeah, you didn't think about that part, did you?"
Oh.
So yeah,
one false
seeing
slip,
the
you're
news
into
it
the
was quite
Atlantic,
funny.
just like that. Just like
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I have to ask Ladarius, Lady Daddy, did I miss something
No,
or
it's
like
Laddie Daddy.
oh Latin
Yeah,
Daddy?
everybody on the show has a nickname.
Oh my goodness. I'm
Everybody has a
sorry.
nickname, and it was given to me, and
I
being
missed
the
that.
gracious and non-petty person that I am, I accepted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Alright.
said he's a petty.
That's King Petty to you. That's King Petty to you. King Petty to you.
We got T-Mobile saying otherwise.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was choking on that bullshit. I was choking on
Oh wow.
Wow. Oh wait. Oh,
Hey!
see. Okay.
when he
Okay.
said
Okay.
non-petty.
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
when he said non-petty.
Says the T-Mobile out there in the wild, and folks, once again, approach it like how you approach a bear. Stay far
Oh
away,
gosh.
and like his ego might get to you before he gets you to you personally. So like the ego may hit you first, and then he'll come. So be out for the be safe out there on the roads and the weather, and especially for T-Mobile. Because listen, I didn't know Timbaland. Are you doing a music video out there?
No, sir. No, I'm not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't
Instead
I,
of
I didn't
coming
know
out,
Timbaland
he's gonna
worked.
do a spot. He's like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? Timberland in the house."
Yeah,
Give
Timbaland.
a feel.
Hey, listen, we got a new album coming out. It's called Snow. It's called Snowy Day, baby. That's what it's called.
Snowlanta. It's called
Snowland.
Snowlanta. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So Kim Ladarius gives me several names. I'm Timberland. Who else am I? I'm Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Yeah. Write all of it down. Yeah.
A few other names I can't repeat, but those.
I mean, you could, but I mean, your life's in danger, not mine. So,
Oh man.
Look, you just got to. Well, look, if we had, we have Kim on the side seat, and all we're missing is Mother Brown, Darius' mom, because she also loves to give her input in. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Listen, I made it specifically to say, listen, that's family, not in the contract, not in the contract. It's not personal. It's a business decision. It's a business decision.
Oh my God! All right, let's get into it, guys. All right.
Hold on, wait. What'd you say, Kim?
I said, I've already signed the waiver.
She's
Oh!
already signed the waiver, guys.
See, you know what? That is fantastic. You know what, Kim? You're always welcome on the show.
Hi Kim.
Hi,
Listen,
how are you?
your husband
how are
has his
you?
moments. I'll just put it like that. He has his moments.
Wow.
Real dirty.
Oh wow.
Is a better heel than The Rock. Oh, come on. First of all, no slandering The Rock. First of all, that was the final boss. That man made WrestleMania last year with the whole final boss. I mean, we got Mama Rose being debuted, for God's sakes, and I still, that cracked me up. That and him with the cowboy hat and saying where you can go, to what direction you can F in. So anyway, and some people could feel that way with the Falcons hire, but anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about, in our debate portion here, Jeff Ulbrich is hired. So this is where I'm just going to ask guys, what, he is the DC. So what's the benefits does he bring to the Atlanta Falcons? What is it, and then, or what do you like or maybe not like about Jeff Ulbrich being the DC of the Atlanta Falcons? All right, we're going to go ahead and start with T-Mobile over there in the car.
T-Mobile.
All right.
Man, we might get a sponsorship out of this, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
like, look, you drive around, just have a T-Mobile, and we can all be like, hey, look, T-Wheel, T-Mobile.
Hi, I'm Grammy Award-winning producer Timbaland, and the only way I operate is the T-Mobile way.
Oh, he's on one today. Let me say something, man. Ladarius is my dude, man. I know we go back and forth, but Ladarius is my dude. I would not want to do this show without him, and that's real. But in all seriousness, so guys, me, Carrie, Ladarius, Ron, C-Dub, we all talked about the X, and I think a bit of that is true. My first choice would have either been Steve Wilkes or Wink Martindale, but we didn't get it, so we're here now. The benefits. Well, number one, I believe Jeff runs a 4-3, so I think that's a benefit because I think that matches the personnel that we currently have, as opposed to going to a 3-4. And because look, fellas, unless you got Big Tony Saragusa, I'm trying not to cuss because I'm in front of my wife. Unless we got Big Tony Saragusa or some big hog in the middle, that 3-4 is not going to work. It's just not. So I think we are geared. A 4-3 matches our personnel better. I think that's one of the things that's good. I know he's worked with Raheem before. Raheem is a collaborator. So I can see them collaborating on the defense and coming up with anything better than what we had last year, okay? And then the other thing is, look, Jeff was around Robert Saleh for about 2.5 years, so hopefully in that time, it helped him to improve. I don't want to say improve, but it helped him to enhance certain concepts that he's going to put to use now, right? Those are all the positives I see. Some of the cons could be, well, when that Jets when he was head coach last year, that Jets defense plummeted. Now, there could be variables, okay, in that, well, when Saleh left, now you've got head coaching responsibilities as well as the defensive calls, and maybe it was too much. Maybe this team simply quit, You also had Aaron Rodgers in that locker room, and Aaron Rodgers, and excuse me for saying this, at this point in his career, look, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but at this point in his career, in my humble opinion, he is a cancer in any locker room because it is all about him. And I do believe that he contributed to the fate of the Jets. So those are my thoughts. That's what I got.
All right, hold on, because I didn't get to play it first. That was T-Mobile. And yes, Timberland did make that. Anyway, so Miss Carrie.
Do we have to pay for Timberland's music? Because I feel that wouldn't be fair since he's already on the show. So
I work.
No, you get it free. You get it free.
Because listen, if we had to pay for that, listen.
Ladarius, I got connections. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm connecting to the idea that we shouldn't have paid for it. So good.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Good.
Oh wow! I have to watch the track.
All right, let's go to Miss Carrie, and I want to hear what you have to say. What do you think?
Okay, you just want positives or positives and negatives?
If you go positive, you go negative. It's your opinion. What?
Okay, I feel like I've already harped enough on all the negatives, so I think everybody already knows. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of negatives to be honest, but I'm trying to be in the acceptance stage at this point because I cannot change anything. He's here, he's our coach, so at this point, I'm trying to see some positivity in it, in the hire. So I would say, like T-Mobile said.
Now we got Terry calling him
I keep thinking
great.
to get used to calling him T-Mobile. I'm so used to
what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
I'm not used to
morning.
Oh my goodness.
You love to see it. Yep.
Oh gosh. No, but in all seriousness, like Terry said, he learned under Saleh, which Saleh, we know had a very successful defense. Partially the negative of that though is that we don't know how much he actually we don't know the success of the Jets defense, how much of that was actually anything to do with Jeff Ulbrich, or was that just all Robert Saleh. You get what I mean? Because we know that was his defense, even after he left. So, or even when he was head coach. Yes, Jeff was calling the plays, but I feel that that wasn't his defense unless he's just going to bring exactly what Saleh taught him over to Atlanta. I'm really not sure. Um, Something that I think a positive would be that I have thought for a while now that the Falcons need to improve the D line. I just feel like our defensive line is just not big enough. Like the guys up front are not big enough, you know? So in New York, the interior D line was very had some big players there. And so I feel like that the positive of that is maybe, Jeff is going to draft some guys for our D line, whether that be edge, interior. I'm really not sure. His specialty is linebackers. So for me, we really do need another linebacker because ours cannot all stay healthy at the same time. Troy Anderson has shown flashes, but he just can't stay, he's not available. He's been on IR, what, 3 times now in
Thank
just, what,
you.
2 seasons? So I just feel like we need a more speedy linebacker who can cover so that, mobile quarterbacks are just stopping the run game in general. Like we struggle with that this season. So I'm thinking that since his specialty is linebackers. Maybe we could draft a linebacker with our first pick. Who knows at 15 if we don't go edge? I'm not sure, but that gives me some hope that maybe defense is going to be our priority like it should be this draft, in this offseason. I do think he's well respected. And I would say one other positive would be, well, two more. One positive would be that he has experience as a defensive coordinator, which is obviously in the NFL, which is obviously what we all wanted. We wanted somebody who wasn't just college level like Jimmy Lake. So that is a positive. And then the other positive is, like T. Will mentioned, he has prior experience with the Falcons. He has relationships with, I'm sure backroom staff that's still there, not just the names we know, like obviously Raheem, but and obviously Arthur Blank, obviously, players like Grady Jarrett that were there when he was last there, but I'm sure even backroom staff, some people might view that also as a negative. But because you're running it back with the coach that honestly, and it ended not so well in 2020. So I don't know. I'm really hoping this time around it's different results. So that's all I have.
Gotcha. And that's fine. And let's go to the one, the Laddy Daddy. Laddy Daddy.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Timberland. I'll give it a 6.5. The thumbs
Wow.
up. Okay,
Take
okay,
I'll
5.5 now. Now, pettiness scale plus or minus 1%. Now, so, are we live? Okay, great. That's awesome.
We're live, pal.
We're doing a lot. My biggest takeaway from the hiring is it's twofold. I believe one, we have an identity on defense now because I felt it not just last season, but maybe I could argue maybe in seasons past, we didn't have an identity on defense. It felt like we were flopping between 3-4 and 4-3. We didn't have an identity. And one of the things like an offense you can have, but I think like for defense it's very important to have an identity because you have to have an attitude. To me, you can have it for offense, but for defense it just feels different for me. And I think with Ulbrich, we know what we're getting, and like everyone's alluded to, there's familiarity, which is great. And I'll give some Ulbrich some credit for the Jets. Saleh could have been the architect, but Ulbrich probably learned as the DC there. So I think, and the other thing is, I think Carrie alluded to is like it could signal what we could do in the draft because we could go linebacker, we could go to like if you're looking at this draft class, there's plenty of great defensive talent there. Like if you're in the market for a quarterback, you're kind of up the river. But if you're looking for defense, like specifically edge or the market's there. So I think what happens at pick 15, I think Ulbricht's hiring may have an influence on how Fontenot Raheem, how they approach the draft because like I said, we just need to have an identity. And if Ulbricht runs the defense and we're doing a 4-3, it could signal maybe we could potentially go edge. But Ulbricht's specialty is linebacker, and there's plenty of good linebackers worth taking in the top 15. So to me, it may not be the hire that people wanted, but it's not. Listen, there could have been worse hires out there. So, I would prefer to Wilkes. I'd prefer to Wink. To me, I was big on Antonio Pierce, but because of the similarities between him and Ulbricht, both former linebackers, Ulbricht interim head coach, Antonio Pierce was a head coach. So, but nonetheless, we got Ulbricht, and I think now we have an identity on defense, something that I felt was kind of lacking to a certain extent. So,
gotcha. I will say this. I think y'all bring great points. My thing is when I think of Ulbricht, and see, I brought that question up because it's like what was it? Kerry said it best. We got to get past that point of all right. Look, they made the deal. They said this is who they're going with. So it's not like it's going to get changed automatically. So I look at it like, well, what is the benefit of having Jeff Ulbrich here? What can he do? What can he provide? As long as he's not picking Tack McKinley again, we're good. I'm still a little sour about that. So let's see, because there was a guy named T.J. Watt that could have been. But anyway, what do I know? I mean, I don't see a difference between Jeff and Kiki Ra. Likes to hire his buddies. Raheem might as well bought a bus and call it the buddy bus.
Whoa, wow.
I love some of the comments. What's up, lords and ladies? Thank you there, Carlo.
Hi, Monte Carlo.
Yeah, and we got also Ron or April.
Hi,
Ron.
April.
T. Will,
What's
don't
going
break
on,
the
Ron?
hip.
What's up, April? What's up,
Oh,
Carlo?
wow. He said, don't break a hip, LMAO.
I know. I mean,
oh, wow.
Ron.
I mean,
That's
that is
definitely
sound
wrong.
advice. Let's not ignore that advice. That's very good advice.
Ron, let me tell you something. You're gonna lose. Okay. I'm the king of the dance moves, and that's what it is. So you can
king of the dance
say
moves.
what you
I'm King Teddy. Yeah, we all yeah.
Say what you want to say. All right.
Yeah, I'll say this. Look, pop, lock, but for the love of God, don't drop. That's the message.
You know what? You almost got me. I almost said drop it like it's hot, and then a pause went off in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that. You almost got me.
All right. No. What up, guys from A1 Forever? Forever.
Chris, what up, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Yep, and Lady Carrie. He didn't want to make you feel left out there, Carrie. And Jeff isn't coach. I prefer coach. Okay, over. I got you, brother. I got you. So, I love when you could tell when people are typing and they just mistype, and you could tell when you hit enter, you go, "Oh man, I didn't mean to do that." So one day we're gonna have to have just a subject on that. All right, what's the biggest? Let's talk about this. Because a lot of y'all kind of brought this up during what you said about the benefits of Jeff. My name is Jeff. What is the biggest need on defense for the Atlanta Falcons and why? So let's go with Miss Carey. What is the biggest need on defense?
Okay, this is an easy question, and it's going to be edge rusher, but I sound like a broken record because I feel like I say this every year. We need an edge rusher. It's a position that we've ignored for I don't know how long. I mean, I don't want to give them no credit and say ignore because they did try to fix the issue with Matthew Judon signing, but honestly, that didn't work out as much. I didn't see as many red sleeves as I wanted this season. Unfortunately, I think he had 5 sacks on the season, if I'm correct on that. I'm not sure. But
I think he had 6, I thought.
I think AK-17 had 6 because he was our sack leader. Unfortunately, that's a pretty sad number, but that's the reality. So for me, yes, I do believe we need a nickel corner. I do believe we need a linebacker. I do believe we need to see these guys that we drafted last year, more. Dorless, Rooks, guys like that on defense. I'm hoping we see more of them this season. Because like for example, Dorless, we really didn't see much of. Braylon Trice should be coming back, so I'm hoping he's gonna show something for us, show promise. But even if he comes back, technically it's like he's a rookie because he did not play a regular game for us, and he's coming back from an injury. So for me, you can't just bank on that guy to get you, get to the quarterback. You need to either sign somebody in free agency. I don't know how you guys, if you talked about Khalil Mack, but he's not going back to the Chargers. And I wanted him last offseason. Yes, he's up there in age, but I think we could use the veteran presence. And he still, I don't know what his exact sack number was for this past season, but I believe the season before that, when he was going to be a free agent, when Chargers end up keeping him, he ended up having, I think, 17 sacks. He for sure had double digits, but I'm pretty sure he had 17. So, I mean, that's still way better than what we've had.
Yeah.
Um,
To answer
but
what
yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
so Ebiketie did have 6, and Judon had what was it? He had 5.5 sacks.
Oh, okay. I missed about on a half a sack.
Yeah,
My bad.
I know.
Sorry.
Or we were hold on.
Jeez.
I said 6, you
Oh
said
man.
5, and we were just
Oh, we
like
met in the
half.
middle. I was hoping I was wrong and he had like 15. No.
We knew better because if
Unfortunately,
he had
that's what I was
15, we would
hoping
have been in the
for.
playoffs then.
Right. I mean, that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, so all that to say, yes, at the end of the season, we were getting to the quarterback, and we showed a great, improvement in the pass rush at the end of the season. But so obviously I'm hoping that carries over till the beginning of the new season. But like I said, most likely you're losing 5.5 sacks from Judon, and Trice is coming back from injury. AK-17, yeah, he's shown promise now. This past season with 6 sacks, but 6 sacks is just not going to do it. I'm really personally hoping we finally just draft an edge with our first pick, number 15. Um, I just feel like I'm so tired of just being dead last in sacks. How many did we even have this season? I was hoping we'd hit 40, but I'm pretty sure we got like 31 or 32, which
Well,
is
Khalil
just not
Mack
good enough.
has 6 sacks this year.
Last, how many
I
did he
thought
have
he was
last year?
injured, but they said he played 16 games.
Okay.
So
Well,
I don't know what was up, but honestly, I still would love, like you, I would love to have Khalil Mack. But yeah, and you asked about the sack numbers for the team.
yeah. Do you know if it's like I'm pretty sure it's like 31 or 32. I don't think we hit 40. I could be wrong. Maybe it was
Give me
35ish.
a second.
I don't think we hit
Yeah,
40.
it's 31.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
31.
Okay. Is that still dead last? Did we end up dead last?
No, there was one. There was one beneath us. It might
Yeah.
have been the
Really?
Patriots. I can't think of
Oh
who it was.
wow, wow. Okay, so that end of the season surge helped us out.
It really
Um,
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So okay, Khalil Mack 2023, he did have 17 sacks. I'm not
yes, he
sure
did.
why
He
last
did.
season he only had 6, but I still think if we could get him at a good price, we're losing Judon. I would like a veteran presence. Ever since we lost Calais Campbell, I think he was a great locker room guy for us. I would like that veteran presence on that D line. So I would be all about. Last season, I said double up at. I actually looked back on my tweets, and I looked, and about a year ago, I said sign Khalil Mack and draft an edge at 8, which obviously we didn't do, but we didn't do either, actually. But so, yeah, in short, I'm hoping edge. It has to be edge for me.
All right. T-Mobile, what you got? Oh, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I can't do it with it. That was for me.
Let's see. What do we got? I mean, I may as well say ditto. Carey hit on all the points. We definitely need an edge rusher. Is it only one area of need that we're focusing on now, or can
It
we
is.
just?
Look,
Okay.
this is what do you think is the biggest need?
Okay.
You know, it could be edge rusher, it could be linebacker, it could be corner. It's what you think. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Look it. Sorry, Carrie, but I'm gonna have to agree with her 100%.
No, don't be sorry.
Yeah. It's edge rusher. It's not even close. We're gonna have to get sacks on quarterbacks. We're gonna have to, if you can take a screenshot of that 4-week segment in which we dominated the NFL in sacks and extrapolate that for a 17-sack season, we might have gotten 60 sacks. And think of how different our season would be. So, for me, we have one star cornerback. Your number 2 doesn't have to be a superstar if your pass rush is getting there, because he doesn't have to cover for that long. So I'm going to go exactly with what Kerry said. And I agree. We need to go and get Khalil Mack if we can. Look, you get Khalil Mack, you pair him with AK, you draft another edge rusher, you got Dorless back, you got Rook coming back. Let's run it back with these guys. But I would agree with her. And, again, I apologize because I normally try and give a different take. But I think she's 100% right.
Don't
could not agree with her
apologize.
more.
If you were saying well, I mean, I was about to say what other position could you say, but honestly, think about it. There's an argument for any position. Like I was gonna say, what's out of right field, or out of left
Right.
field, but really I mean, there's an argument for any position, but I do think edge is the biggest need for sure.
It's definitely yeah. So if I had to rank it, I'd say edge, then linebacker, then second corner, then safety. But edge definitely number 1 with the bullet. And look at we're at what, pick 15? Let's draft an edge, let's sign Khalil Mack, and let's go. So let's see what we got, and that's it. That's all I got.
All right, folks. The one, the only, the Laddy Daddy. Are you gonna give us a clean sweep, or what you got?
No, I agree. I agree with Carrie. I didn't hear what T was saying, but yeah, I was doing a crossword puzzle. Now,
this guy.
Oh, wow.
This guy.
So I think edge is the way to go, and my concept is this, and it's going to be an interesting offseason. Now, do we look in the draft and get an edge player? Do we look at free agency? And also, do we explore a trade? I think that's down the table because we've said this throughout this, the situation going on with Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. Are you willing to move that first round pick? Or to me, that pick, you could go a lot of different routes because it's kind of sort of smack dab in the middle almost in the draft. So it's what you're looking at on the board. Listen, like I said, there's a lot of great defensive value in this draft. And the question is, how do we go about getting the edge? Khalil Mack makes a lot of sense if we look at his time, especially his years in Chicago. If we look at it that way. And we look at, so because to me, Khalil Mack can still go, injuries and whatnot, but I think he can still go. So I don't think that's the issue. Is what direction do we want to go into pursuing getting that edge position? Because do we want to go and basically say, hey, if Cleveland's like, hey, we're willing to put Myles Garrett on the market, just throwing out hypothetical. Mm-hmm. And of course, T will cut his camera off when I'm talking. Now, but the point is,
I didn't want to be rude and speak to the wife while you were talking with Darius.
Oh, thank you. No, you're good. You're good. 4.5. Now, my whole thing is that how do we pursue getting the edge player? To me, because I agree. I agree with Carrie, and I guess T will, that we do need an edge, that we do need an edge player, but how do we go about getting it? Because you could go, like I said, you could go the draft route, you could go the free agency route with Khalil Mack, or do we look and pursue a trade? And if you look at the draft board and go, like, maybe that's not maybe the guy that we want's not going to be there at 15. Because to me, Abdul Carter from Penn State, he's not going to be at 15 unless you trade up. If you want Abdul Carter and you're kind of outside the top 5, you're going to have to trade up to get him. I believe if you really believe that he's probably the best edge player in the entire class. So if you really want to get an edge player, you may have to trade up in that regard. So I would saw an extra hand in there. All right.
Yeah, no, I was like looking too. I was like, wait a minute, where'd that hand come
She
from?
didn't know she was on camera. She didn't know she was on
No,
camera.
it's
She
it's
was
okay.
on camera.
Listen. That was better than when you were talking. You know, that's great. So yeah. So yeah, wild T-Mobile out there. But to put a button on the point, it's how we pursued the edge player. I think, like I say, if you want a dual card, you're going to have to trade up. If Khalil Mack's available, a lot of teams are going to be interested in Khalil Mack. So it all circles back to the issue of cap space. Like, because at the end of the day, we know our cap situation. How do we figure out? So I think what we do in the offseason, how do we fix the cap situation? Kind of is kind of the approach we're going to go about pursuing an edge player, whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency or via the trade.
Yeah.
So listen, ideally, like I'm like Monte Carlo. I hope, like he said, I hope we don't back out of 15 to get more picks. I think a solid top guy versus 2 maybe works. But yeah, so if there's like I say, there's defensive value in this draft. So we could get the edge player, but I'm curious to see how Fontenot and the front office approaches it in that regard.
Yeah.
Ladarius, to your point, Terry's press conference, he did mention trading back because we don't have that many picks.
Right.
Maybe they'll get the best player available because we know that's their approach at 15. But then with the second round pick, maybe they'll trade back to acquire 2 picks. That's what I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah. So like I said, there's options at 15. So like I said, if Terry goes like I said, he's known to go the free agent. If he goes for agency, if he goes by trade, that's fine. But listen, trading back is an option. Would I want to see them trade back? No. But if there's a deal to be made, if there's value, Terry's going to take it. So that I think that's the point. And I see, like Sterling said, you already said that normally Terry fills out his positions in free agency. Let's get Mack or get Clowney if available. Yes.
I'm about to read a lot of these comments, so yeah.
So like I said, if you're going to free agency route, keep that number 15 pick and go get that edge player, get the best player available. I'll go ahead, Carrie. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ladarius. I was going to ask what you guys think. How you mentioned Khalil Mack is going to be a hot commodity because he's one of the best. He's had a great career. He's a great locker room presence guy. So, plus he's a free agent, obviously. So hopefully you could get him at a good price. But like you said, a lot of people are going to be wanting him. What do you guys think of another option that I saw will be also a free agent? Obviously, he's not my first pick, but DeMarcus Lawrence.
I mean, there's him, but there's also Jamal Kinlaw.
Is he going to be free agent?
Yeah, that is going to be a free agent. And, I think, here's the thing. When you have Khalil Mack, when you have some guys like that, they're looking to end their career maybe with a ring. Or it depends on what they want. Maybe some want to play in the South. Maybe some want to, not have to deal with the rigors of the North. Or some just want to win a ring. Think about Calais Campbell. He went to Miami thinking he was win a ring. Actually had it where, hey, as long as we're not competing, let me go ahead and get released so I can go somewhere else. And unfortunately, they were competing to the last week of the season. So it just happens that way. So I like DeMarcus Lawrence, just got to know what his health is like and would he fit in? And then the other question I have is this, guys. I get pass rusher. What about linebacker? Because we were really exposed with our linebacking core, and we have no linebackers that can cover or make really much of an impact. And that was the reason why I was wondering, because I just keep thinking linebacker may be the way you need to go. And see, to at least get somebody. Look, I'm sorry, Troy Anderson. He's starring in ER versus.
Oh wow!
Because that man stays in.
Wow!
That man, he can't help but to be off the field.
I mean, it sucks, but it's kind of true. He's just not available.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, it really is sad when you look over, you see him, but then you see Nakobe Dean, who's playing, and yeah, he got hurt, but I mean, but he's making an impact on their defense. There's linebackers that got drafted behind him, and they're
Mm,
just like, okay, here we are. So
that's tough.
yeah, it is. So, all right.
So,
So here's a question that I just was thinking about the other day. Who should call the defensive plays? Should it be Raheem Morris, or
no.
should it be um, Jeff Ulbrich? Now, the reason I'm asking this question
Okay.
is a lot of people were, when talking about the defensive hire, they were trying to say, don't, it shouldn't even matter. Raheem should be the one calling the plays. Or, and, stop with the charade of, oh, I want to be a guy where I'm just watching or I'm just listening to I'm just overseeing everything. Be the coach or be what your specialty at. And that's why I wanted to ask this panel about that. So let's ask Miss Carrie first. What do you think?
My opinion is Jeff Ulbrich needs to be calling the plays. Raheem needs to focus on just being the head coach. It's his second chance at being the head coach, right? His second opportunity. In his position, he doesn't know that he's going to get another opportunity. This could be it for him. So he needs to focus on just being the head coach because I mean this respectfully, he was not perfect this season, okay? So he has room to improve just as a head coach from that standpoint. Whether it be calling the timeouts at the right time, whether it be, learning to, I don't know the right word to say this. Maybe T Will can help me out, but just the way you you speak on radio interviews and just
Right,
rub fans wrong. Like he
right,
needs to work on things like that, as the
right,
head coach and maybe not get ahead of yourself and talk about outrunning the South and then you don't even outrun anybody. I mean,
right.
shoot, you got
Now,
you got dog walked against the Carolina Panthers at home the final game. That was terrible. That's just a terrible way to end the season, honestly. But all that to say, I think, um, regardless, even though Jimmy Lake was not it, that's who he selected, right? So that's
right.
your friend, that's your selection. So for me, you selected another friend. That's on you. I hope it works out this time, but at least this friend has NFL DC experience. So that gives me hope. I'm just hoping that I just feel that Raheem wants to be like I don't I it might have been T Will who mentioned he just wants to be the CEO. He just wants to be the guy overseeing everything. And for me, he didn't do the best job at doing that last season, so he needs to just work on doing that only. I don't know that he can handle doing everything, calling plays and being the head coach. So for me, I want him to just be able to focus on being the head coach. And quite frankly, I think that's why he brought in Jeff Ulbrich, or you should have brought, regardless of him being your friend or not, you needed to bring in somebody with the experience because clearly Jimmy Lake needed help and, you couldn't handle doing both. So that's where I'm at. He definitely it needs to be Jeff Ulbrich, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Since Terry's driving, I'm not going to play the music because I saw him actually turn the steering wheel. I don't want to distract. The Wi-Fi, go back in. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna save everybody. So I mean, it may be great comedy, but anyway, what T Will, what do you guys say about this? Who should be calling the play calls or for the defense? Should it be Jeb or should it be Rye?
Well, first and foremost, my dance moves get even better when I'm driving. But anyway, whatever, Kimberly. So,
No, nobody asked for it. You just brought it to yourself. Once again, get a bigger circle for that ego because now I don't know who I'm looking. So, gee,
no,
I can drive and dance. Yeah, yeah.
I love you guys. Go for it. Go for it, T Will. Terry, I think you muted yourself. Terry? Uh, can't hear you, brother.
Oh no, we can't hear you, T Will. Oh,
T
he
Will.
has a oh, no. Terry,
Terry, you're muted, brother.
maybe you
On
need to
your
hold up
end.
a sign. We can't hear you.
I'm Terry. I can dance all by myself. I don't
Maybe-
need anyone to tell me what to do.
Maybe
I'm
he
Terry.
can't hear us either. Yeah, maybe do your ear. Maybe, oh, God. Maybe his sound is completely gone.
We can't. Hey,
Oh,
I mean, he keeps looking, but he hasn't.
Terry. Oh, no.
Terry.
Look at that.
man, it's a
I
shame.
mean,
He's
we
probably
could
saying some
just
good
tell
stuff
him,
too.
like,
Yeah.
guys, I think this is a really good hire.
Yeah, I mean, I taught Albert Einstein how to dance, and Eagles MC Square was all me.
Terry.
Oh, I feel bad. He's doing a
Oh,
whole
he's in
speech.
it too. That's the funny
Yeah,
part.
he's got the hand moving with the
Yeah.
ring. Oh man,
Oh,
We're
man.
not going to be able to get this brilliance back. That's going to be the funny part too.
I mean, in a way, yeah, it's gonna suck to transcribe it, but
Terry, look at the fucking.
guys,
We can't hear you.
can you share your screen and then like type like we
Can't
can't
hear
hear
you.
you? Oh no.
We can't hear you.
we couldn't hear you.
We
No,
can't
we heard
Oh,
nothing.
He just said.
Yeah, we got that part. We got that part.
Still
Oh man, he's still
talking, no.
fucking. Now the camera, man, he's
Okay,
going.
Oh,
here
God.
we go. Oh wow, poor
That-
Terry.
That is brilliant. This is why when you drive and do a show, you have to be careful.
Okay, I guess. Well,
Oh,
there is
you know what I
that.
wonder? If his Bluetooth got turned off and he had no clue.
Yeah, because that usually happens if you can't see like the blue. Yeah, he probably didn't know.
Oh,
But I
my
mean,
God.
he gave
Look
a
at-
great speech.
Oh,
He
yeah.
probably,
He was, guys,
it sounded like an
whatever he
acceptance
said.
speech, like back in the day,
back at my time.
back in my time, leather helmets was a fact.
Poor Miss Kim. She's gonna have to hear the whole speech again.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
She's
real
just gonna
victim in
laugh
all.
at him.
Oh,
That's
That
the
might
real
be the
victim.
audible that we need. So,
His wife's
all
the
right,
real victim. So
All right, I'm going to read some of these comments and we'll get back to what we're doing here, or I'm going to get to Darius. So I'm pretty geeked about it all because we finally getting some headhunters on defense. They can't mess this up. Okay, Carla. I agree with Kerry. We need bigger guys on D-line. We need some headhunters on the D-line. We had 6 this year, 8 before. That would have 17. It's a hard nose we need. Well, no, I got you, Carla. I know a perfect song, T. Will. I wear sunglasses at night. That should be said. Right now, T. Will's trying to find the sound.
Yeah.
Dayton Ellis for Steakhouse says he wants play edge to be able to rush the passer more. That's also on the table, and that's why I say you get the linebacker to fill in the role that Ellis may, because if you're switching to a 4-3, you could move some of these linebackers to an edge to rush the passer. Khalil Mack, you are the next contestant on the price is right. Come on down from John Brooks. I hope we don't back out of the 15th pick. I think top guy versus 2 maybe works better. Well, just remember, guys, last year's draft, they didn't pick a lot of defensive guys until like pick 7 or 15 till after like 15 picks. So, and I know that's last year's draft, but if y'all already said normally Terry fills position in free agency, but yeah, I'm going to go here though. When it comes to this year, you kind of have to look at it as I need my draft players to make an impact this year because that will be the biggest thing there. We have a good chance because a team hire needs other positions. T. Will.
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear
You
me?
gave us such a great answer that only you and Kim can only give us. But the whole audience was not able to hear.
I said, poor Kim, she has to listen to the whole thing
Yeah,
again.
that's the real victim in all of this. That's Kim,
Because
we
we
are
have
so
her
I'm
sorry.
word.
pointing at my ears. I'm like, come on, dude, just
Yeah, we're going like this, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't look down.
I had a dream today. Wait, we can't hear you.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
wow.
You were
Oh,
talking,
wow.
you were cooking, and we
Oh,
couldn't get.
wow. The greatest answer nobody heard. Well,
Yeah.
guys, suffice it to say.
And we'll be right back after these
Oh
commercial
my
breaks.
God, stop it. I'm trying to remember what the was it? Wait, what was the question? Does Raheem need to call the plays? Right?
It is Raheem or Jeff. Who needs to call the plays? Raheem
Yeah.
or Jeff?
Did you guys hear any of my answer, or was it
No,
all
sir.
muted?
Not
No,
a single
we
word.
saw your ring
Oh,
to the camera, pointing and like,
You were
I have
going
a dream that one day Raheem
Oh my
will go to the
God.
mountain.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, look, I'll give you the abridged version. Raheem is a very relationship-centric coach, and I think that was kind of to his detriment last year. Raheem's going to learn. He's going to have difficult conversations quicker, and make decisions quicker. To Kerry's point, he's also going to have to be a little more humble. Look, everybody loves to play the hero. Sometimes you got to play the bad guy, and just take ownership. And other than that, I think Raheem will be great. He did get Tomlin's recommendation 2 years ago, so I think he's going to be a good coach. But to the point of the matter, I think Ulbrich is fine calling the plays for defense. Look at what's his name did it. I forgot Jimmy Lake. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Jimmy did the calls last year during our 4-game massive defensive, let's say, performance. So if Jimmy could do it, I'm fine with Jeff Ulbrich doing it, who is a defensive coordinator who has had experience. So I'm fine with that. Raheem needs to focus on basically head coach centric duties. So I agree with Kerry. There we go. The first answer was a lot better, by the way. Please tell me you guys can hear me. Oh my God! Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we heard you.
Okay.
We heard
All
you.
right.
You're
Okay.
good. You're
All right.
good. I
Thank you.
heard every word you said.
Thank you.
So, all right, let's go to the Laddy Daddy himself. Go ahead, Lil Daddiest. You're on mute.
I know I'm going to follow Dr. Martin T. Will King Jr., but I'll do my best. No, to me, the answer is simple. I think it's Ulbrich. Like I said, I don't want to expound or, step on anybody's toes. I think Jeff brings the experience. I think so. It just like, Raheem, and I think what Kerry was talking about, I think when a coach like Raheem is people skills. Raheem's the type of guy who, to me, he just lacks people skills. He doesn't understand the impact of his words when he says them. He says it like it's casual, but it has significant meaning to a whole lot of people. And I go back to that 92.9 interview he did. He didn't understand what he was saying. He said what he said, but I don't think he understood the impact of what he said, if that makes any sense. And
Yes, it does.
and listen, like I said, he gave the double bird to essentially the fan base in his comments and his press conferences. He doesn't understand that his actions, when you're a leader, people are going to look to you. And anytime it's always the accountability. It wasn't there all the time. It felt like it was other people's fault. Like we're going to do it. It was a lot of talk and no action. It's why a lot of people. It's why a lot of people are in the positions they are in life, because they're all talk, but there's no action to follow it. That's Raheem. And I think with this defense, that with hiring Jeff Ulbrich, let Jeff focus on the defense. He's your buddy, but he actually is the guy that has experience. So that's why this hire is not terrible. The Jimmy Lake hire was terrible. You pull up Jimmy Lake's resume. I think he had like one season in the NFL. He was a head coach for the University of Washington. He was basically in college for the most part, and didn't have quite the experience. But you have a guy in Jeff. Let him call plays. Let him do what he does. Like I said earlier, we have an identity now. Okay, so if Jeff Ulbrich's the DC, we're running a 4-3. That's why people like Khalil Mack's name, DeMarcus Lawrence is a great name because DeMarcus Lawrence is a guy. He can be a linebacker and a defensive lineman. He can come from all positions. So it opens up not just it opens up not only how we look at our scheme, but it also looks up like players that we can pursue in that context. So let Jeff call the plays and we're going to be fine. All due respect to Raheem, just let Ulbrich do his job because we saw what happened when you let Jimmy Lake do his job. We saw what happened. So let's just go with Jeff Ulbrich.
All right. Hey, no, that's fine. And what was it? Let's see here. Debacle is the better word, yep. And then someone said James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. Do you think he falls to Atlanta? What do y'all say, real quick? Why I get the next subject here.
I think that you know what I kind of like that. He's one of those guys. I'm sorry, Carrie. If you want to say something, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You can go first, please.
Oh no, go ahead, Carrie. No, I'll no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Seriously.
I saw you turned off your. No, go ahead. So go ahead.
I mean, I would hope so, but I'm not sure that he will fall to us, to be honest. You said he's the edge rusher at Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about it is, I think I'm trying to think of who really needs an edge besides us that goes. Honestly, I think a team that really needs an edge is the New York Jets, and they're a team that I think could compete with us for Khalil Mack.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might, they draft ahead of us. If I remember right, they draft at like 7 or 8. I can very well see them drafting an edge rusher. Um,
Okay.
because to be honest, I couldn't even tell you who are their edge rushers right now. Do you guys know? I think they need an edge rusher.
I mean, they have all the linebackers. They have a lot of D talent. I mean, they got. They also drafted a lot of them, also. So they still have guys in the pipeline. So I don't know.
What about the
I wish I could
Panthers?
give you more info, but I
Right.
don't know.
I think there's multiple teams that need edge rusher that are drafting above us. Unfortunately, like Carolina Panthers. I think they need an edge rusher. And I think they pick in the top 10 because they had a worse record than us. So to be honest, I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna hope maybe yes. I'm hoping one of the top edge rushers do land with us.
Okay. All right. Well, Darius, what do you say?
I like I say, Jane. Listen, he's a guy that he could very well go before 15 because like Mason Graham, defensive lineman, James Pierce is in that conversation. Jalen Walker, and someone put in the comments, is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's how you value. Listen, it goes to how Terry and his front office views the certain players because at 15, you're gonna get value there, but you may not get the guy if you want, if that makes any sense. So I I really like listen as an SEC get I saw listen if we get James Pierce Jr. I wouldn't be there's a couple of guys if we walk away with them in the first round I'd be happy with like if we get Abdul if we somehow he falls I highly doubt he gets out of the top 3 I could argue because to carry listen there's teams above that need defensive linemen so if you kind of look at Carolina could be a possibility given though they traded away like Brian Burns, that they traded a lot of their pieces, so they could go defense there. I think the Jets are an option, but I think for us, if James Pierce Jr. falls to us, I wouldn't be upset. And like Brian said, if Jalen Walker falling to us, that's not the worst thing in the world because, like I said earlier, there's value at that position.
Oh
But
yeah.
so it's a matter of you're competing. But if you really want a guy like a James Pierce Jr. or like if you really want Abdul Carter, I don't think you have the draft capital to trade up into the top potentially 5 or 3 to get Abdul Carter. So if someone like a James Pierce Jr. or Jalen Walker falls, it's not the worst thing in the world. And like Sterling said, like I just don't see Terry picking a go player in the first round. Hope he proves me wrong. I think Terry understands that his job's on the line. I think he has to kind of take the all in approach. If there's a guy in the first round that can potentially start on that defensive line, he's going to take them. I think he can't. He's not in a position to draft a guy to bench for another season. He's not in that position anymore. He's in a position where you have to get it right here, or come next season you may not have a job.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how they approach that number 15 pick and what they do with it. But like I say, James Pierce Jr. falling to Atlanta would be fine. Jalen Walker is fine. If we don't get Abdul Carter, we're not going to get Mason Graham. So if Jalen Walker or James Pierce Jr. kind of falls in that spot, it's like I said, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We just need a guy that can start on the defensive line potentially day one.
Yeah, totally. All right, guys. T. Will, what do you say, man? I know you were driving, so you know.
No. You're fine. I'm okay with James Pierce Jr. Because you could sign, whether it's Khalil Mack, whether it's any of the other candidates that we discussed, you could sign an edge rusher. We do have Dorless coming back. Again, we do need a linebacker who can cover, a linebacker who can run. I would say that is a secondary need to an edge rusher, but it's still a need. So I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with it. I guess my question to you guys, to the panel, is what would you guys think of trading back and acquiring more picks? I think we have 5, right? So what would you guys think of that?
I wouldn't have a problem with the trade back. I would actually welcome it. I think every year I've always thought, hey, trade back is a good idea, but it just depends on the team if they really will do it. And as Ron is saying, we need to draft Jalen Walker. And see, I'm okay with either one. I think Jalen Walker actually fits the need that we have, because if you get a guy like that and he really can play really well at linebacker, you could move one of your linebackers as a D or a defensive end, because you're just the 4-3. You're trying to get more pass rushers. If you have to, and I think that's what they want Ellis to do eventually. Um, I'm just intrigued to see what's going to happen, because if they draft back, how far back do you want to go? You
Yeah.
know, and what can you get? If you get a good haul for going back, let's say 20, and you still get the guys you want, or get a guy that actually fits your system, to me, you win. But it's just one of those things. So, but all right, we're gonna end the debate with just one more question, and so pretty much we know about the 4-3-3-4. So I was gonna ask that, the difference, or what's better, but we're gonna just go to the next one. Who had the bigger letdown? And we're talking about the playoffs, because as you know, we know who the Final Four team. Is it Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens, or is it the kneecapless Detroit Lions? I have to log off. FYI. Okay. Well, Kerry, this is we'll let you hit this first. Who had the biggest letdown between these two teams?
For me, the biggest letdown is going to be Detroit Lions. Like our friend T. Will said, if they didn't win, if they exited the first round as a failure. And I agree. Now it's going to be even harder for them to run it back, to them to try to even make it anywhere close to the NFC Championship game next season, because they lost their offensive coordinator, they lost their defensive coordinator, and I believe they're going to be losing their D-line coach as well. So their coaching staff is getting raided. So I just feel as though that's going to be really tough for them going forward to replace those coaches because I rate both their DC and their OC. So, um, yeah, I think definitely that's more of a failure the way they went out. It sucks because I feel that that loss was solely really on Jared Goff. Um, I know it's a team sport, but 5 turnovers, 4 of them were his. I just feel like he played a terrible game, and it's
Mm.
very hard to win a game when you have 5 turnovers. So, yeah, I would definitely say, in my opinion, the Detroit Lions.
All right. What say you, T. Will?
I know I've said a lot of this, but I have to agree with Kerry wholeheartedly. And I'm sorry. Maybe you
It's
need to
the
pick me first,
it's the Carrie
T-Dub.
and Terry connection.
I know, right? I know. It's crazy. But, well, I don't know, Kerry. Maybe because we've been on one time for the fans so long, maybe we just, I don't know. But either way, I think it is 100% on Detroit. And I love Dan Campbell. I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that this man lives and breathes football.
Yeah.
You could see that he was just heartbroken, and not that I like that he's heartbroken, but I like it when somebody is genuine, and I think I love Dan. I think he's genuine. But with that being said, you had to at least get to the NFC Championship, and I don't even know if then going 15-2 or whatever they did, that anything Super Bowl was a bust. I'm not saying you had to win it, but you needed to get there. But definitely doing one and done, that's a failure.
Yeah.
And to Kerry's point, you're not going to have your offensive coordinator. You're not going to have your defense coordinator. What I will say, however, is the culture in that place is really where you want it to be. So if anybody could get them back to the playoffs, and if anybody could get them on a run, it would be Dan Campbell. But it is not going to be easy because you didn't just lose coordinators on one side of the ball. You lost them on both, right? So, yeah, I think the bigger failure is Detroit, unfortunately. Is Derrick Henry back next year, or did he just sign a one-year deal?
He's back. They were saying that he does have a second year on the deal.
Okay, so for all intents and purposes, they can run it back. It's going to be way more difficult, in my humble opinion. Now, just because I said that, watch Detroit make the Super Bowl next year. But with that being said, you never know. But I feel bad for Dan Campbell. But yeah, that's definitely the bigger failure by far. Those are my thoughts.
All right. Ladarius, what say you, man?
Look, I got to be the contrarian here because look, I love you, Carrie. T will 75%. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore, but not for the reason that I think most people think, because I think the narrative around Baltimore's lack of play. I think it's easy, like I said, in that particular game, yeah, Mark Andrews dropped the ball, but I'm talking about in totality. Everyone's quick to say, "Oh, it's Lamar," and to me, I look at John Harbaugh and go, "You have a guy in Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson 8 playoff games, and you can't get this guy to a Super Bowl." It's easy to sit here and say, "Oh, well, Lamar." Listen, I say it's Baltimore, but not because of Lamar, but because of John Harbaugh. Because yes, you have a Super Bowl on your resume, and that's great. You know who else has a Super Bowl on their resume too? Mike Tomlin.
Right.
But yet, if you look at Mike Tomlin's the last 6 seasons, Mike Tomlin had hit in each of those 3 playoff appearances, including the one this season, 3 different starting quarterbacks. He had Ben Roethlisberger, he had Kenny Pickett, then he had Russell Wilson. Like outside of and that was Big Ben toward the back end of his career, Big Ben. That not when he. So to me, I think, but see, Ron, this is where look. But here's the thing, Ron. This is
Yeah,
what
I know. Go ahead.
this is what
I'm with
aggravates.
you with Darius because I just want to say this really quick.
But
Harbaugh, last year, they lost that game because they stopped running the ball. That's on coaching in the playoffs. And then this past game, yes, Lamar had those two turnovers, but he fixed it at halftime. And I don't understand. They went for the 2-point conversion both times. And both times they're throwing the ball. When first half, you saw Lamar's having a bad game. He's not having his best game. Why are you not running the ball with Derrick Henry? Just punch it in for 2 points. I didn't understand that. And they failed both 2-point conversion attempts.
yeah, it was basically the Pete Carroll playbook. Hey,
Yeah.
we got Marshawn Lynch, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw the ball. Like,
Yep.
like, listen, if you're a Seahawks fan, you're listening. Listen, I'm not. Listen, you got Marshawn Lynch. Hey, and if you're John Harbaugh, listen. Everyone wants to circle and say Lamar can't get it done. Well, here's the issue. Mike Tomlin has gotten it done and made. Listen, they've won a playoff game in so long. I get that narrative, but my point is that give Mike Tomlin a franchise quarterback, and I could
Right.
argue they could go back to the Super Bowl because Mike Tomlin is taking literally tape and glue and paper clips at quarterback.
Right.
His last 3 playoff appearances, 3 different starting quarterbacks.
To me, it's amazing that he gets his team a winning record every season
Yeah,
without ever replacing Big Ben. They still don't have their franchise guy. So to me,
exactly. And here's the thing: 18 seasons, this man has not had a losing season. But yet, all I hear is like, "Oh, let's fire him." Like, are you? If I was Mike Tomlin, I'd give the double bird if you keep up that rhetoric, because at the end of the day, he's listen. But yet, I don't hear peeps about, "Oh, maybe we should fire John Harbaugh." John Harbaugh's been there 17 seasons. He has 2 losing seasons. But we're not talking about. But here's the Super Bowl. So does Mike Tomlin. In fact, Mike Tomlin has two. I'll be quick. I don't want to take up too much time. But my point is this:
Good.
if you look at it, Lamar Jackson has started 8 playoff games. Tyler Huntley started that 1 playoff game when Lamar got hurt in that wild card round. But we don't talk about the coaching. We're like, it's easy to blame Lamar, but at the end of the day, Lamar can't do as much as the coaching allows him to do. Like in the NFL, coaching matters.
right.
Look at the 4 dudes who's coaching now. Dan Quinn, look at the job turning around Washington. Look at Nick Sirianni. We can say that, yeah, he's maybe, maybe not likable, but he's been to a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, Hall of Fame coach. Sean McDermott, listen, doing his job. He's pretty good at his job. But at some point, but see, the thing is, when it comes to Lamar, it's about Lamar. We don't talk about John Harbaugh. Like he hasn't made some questionable coaching decisions himself. And that's why, to me, it was a letdown, because in all things considered, yes, we could say the Mark Andrews, the fumble cost him the game. We could say all of that. But at the end of the day, I would love for people to put a little blame on John Harbaugh. That's all I'm asking. Because to me, you start, it's Lamar. When Josh Allen, I don't recall people blaming, people, it's all on Josh. Like, you could argue that's the case for Josh Allen. Sean McDermott never takes in the blame. All I hear is Josh Allen loses. Listen, this is why I say quarterback wins are a terrible stat, because listen. Well, Devin, that's a great question. That was the first half, correct? That he picked 2 fumbles. How
I
did
think he
John
only
Harbaugh?
had 1 fumble and a pick, not 3. But like I said, that was all in the first
But
half. He
here's the
addressed it at halftime.
yeah. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
it
Gary.
was only 1 fumble. The other fumble was
What was Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews' fumble, and that cost him.
But see, here's the thing. To Devin's point, how did John make you take the ball out of Lamar's hand? You're the play call. You basically, here's what you do. You basically go to the OC. Hey, you got Derek bleeping Henry in the backfield.
Exactly. King Henry. Come on, man.
What am I missing? Like, see, I understand what you're saying, Devin. Lamar, sure he did, absolutely. But I would love for people, when we listen. At the end of the day, it's easy to blame Lamar, but at the end of the day, you're the head coach. You can. You could basically go to the OC and say, you can go to Todd Monken and say, hey, we got to start using Derrick Henry a little bit more. Derrick Henry can get you 5-6 yards a carry. He can make the second downs second and short. That and then you can utilize the play action and open it up for Lamar. I'm not making an excuse for how Lamar Jackson played. Let's be super clear on that.
Yeah.
Right.
But my issue is I'm tired of people blaming Lamar and not putting John Harbaugh in the same conversation. And you got a bunch of people telling me online that Mike Tomlin is a terrible head coach when the man has had a losing season since probably some of y'all was in high school.
Right.
So that's my point. I tell people, say what you want about it. The man's been there 18 years, been pretty good at his job. When he turns on quarterly reports, it's always either in the black or he's right there at the margin. That's all it takes.
Hey,
He's done
Ladarius,
the job.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I gotta log off, guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you having me on, and I hope everyone in the chat and everyone on the panel has a great day today. Thank
right,
you.
thank
You as well, Carrie.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss
Take
Thank you,
care.
Carrie.
Thank you.
Carrie Lynn, and
But I'll say this. I'll say this, and I'll hand it back because I didn't mean to go off on this tangent.
No,
but
you're good.
The thing is, how many? Like, listen, there was a report that the Bears wanted to trade for Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers said, "No, we're not doing that." And people saying he's not worth 2 first rounders. I'm gonna tell you something. Was John Gruden worth those picks that that Tampa Bay traded to get him? Because what did they get after that Super Bowl? Nothing.
Nothing.
So my point, like, I like Tomlin not trying to go against me anyway. Like Devin, I know it's not. I'm not making it personal. I apologize if it comes off that way, but it's the fact that when we have the conversations, I don't hear people going after anybody in Pittsburgh but Mike Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying, oh, well, Russ had a terrible game, or no. All I'm hearing is, oh, Mike Tomlin, he hasn't won a playoff. Hey, some of your franchises ain't won a playoff game since Degrassi Junior High was a popular TV show. Okay, Look it up. Okay, hey, if you're the Dallas Cowboy fans, y'all haven't won a Super Bowl since what? Since VHS?
95.
Yeah.
Since Jim Carrey was probably one of the best grossing actors. That's what you need to know. My point is that I'm not saying you fire John Harbaugh. That's not my point here. My point is that if you're going to go after Lamar, all I'm asking, because who's been the coach this whole time under Lamar Jackson's had one coach his entire career, and his name is John Harbaugh. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I'm not telling people, hey, let's go fire John Harbaugh. No. I'm saying, listen, they have very similar resumes, and yet all I hear is that let's fire one guy over the other, and like 100. So yeah, exactly. Like Russ is like, I'm not hearing Russell getting any of the blame for playing cheeks, but no, let's blame Mike Tomlin. Let's blame a guy who's been there almost 20 years and had 0 losing seasons. He's the first ballot Hall of Fame coach. But all people are telling me, and I see it online. So listen, I watch your tweets. I see your tweets, people. All I hear is that, oh, fire, you get the little LinkedIn box saying, oh, with Mike Tomlin. Hey, listen. Some of your, like, Mike Tomlin, how many head coaches have there been for Atlanta? For a lot of franchises, Mike Tomlin had one job for 18 years.
Yeah.
A lot of us in the real world can't say we had one job for 18 years. Nope. He has. because the Pittsburgh Steelers, here's the thing. They don't listen, they love their fans, but when it comes to picking the coach, they only had 3 coaches since the 1970s. There's a reason for that. There's a reason they hung in with Bill Cowher, 6-10, got him a Super Bowl. Chuck Noll has 4. Every single coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers has the Lombardi Trophy on their resume. I'm done because I went too long, Senator. I went too long. I yield the rest of my time to you.
Okay. Well, you can't yield it because your segment's coming up. Chick-fil-A. Nice. So
once again, not buying us breakfast. What a surprise! Now,
hey, let me tell you something. There should have been a mic drop at the end of what Ladarius was saying, because I mean, hey, let me tell you something. Those are great points. Great points. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something else also to Ladarius's point. You're not going to win without a quarterback. I don't care. You could be Lombardi himself.
Yeah.
You're not going to win without a quarterback. You're just not. you're not going to win in this league without a quarterback. And the thing about winning for 18 years, guess what? You're not in a position where you can draft high.
Mm-mm.
So unless you sign a quarterback, look at the guys that Tomlin has won with. Mason, there have been seasons where he's winning with the third string quarterback.
He won with a guy named Duck Hodges. That's all you need to like.
Absolutely. So look it. I have nothing else to say because Ladarius capped it all. I'm going to shut up. I have nothing else to say. That was a you should have dropped the mic, man.
Yeah.
I'm out. I can't follow that.
Because like I say, I get really aggravated with the conversation. It's like we're just gonna pretend like John Harbaugh is not there. Like, John Harbaugh has the Super Bowl. Well, so does Mike Tomlin. But when I ask people, so why do you want Mike Tomlin fired, and you're not calling for John Harbaugh's job? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: John Harbaugh's had a generational quarterback. But look at the last 6-7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, it's the AFC. Mike Tomlin coaching the AFC. Like, to me, Mike Tomlin started a year before John Harbaugh. And the last 3 playoff appearances, Pittsburgh has had 3 different starting quarterbacks in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And listen, the losing the playoff game, that's a whole different conversation. But the point remains is that Lamar has started 8 career playoff games for John Harbaugh. And no Super Bowl appearance. But yet you guys want to come and tell me, let's get rid of Mike. If you didn't have Mike Tomlin, I'll tell you right now, you'd be 4-13. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh.
Right. You're not stepping on toes or anything. That's it. The thing, I think when it comes to Tomlin, it's easy because he is the constant figure.
Yeah, people. Here's the problem. I'll say this: people don't like people staying at their jobs for a whole bunch of time. Like, what's wrong with consistency?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I guarantee you, there's 32 teams in this league, and excluding Pittsburgh's would be 31. If Mike Tomlin got fired today, 80% of their teams would go after Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I believe it.
Easily.
So if Mike Tomlin, to your point, if Mike Tomlin got fired today, Ladarius, there'd be 5 other teams that fired the coach that they have so that they could have a chance at getting Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
I really believe that.
Yes. So like Christy said, we take him. Hey.
Yeah.
Like, so folks, all I'm saying is let's have that same energy for John Harbaugh that we do about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
However you guys want to interpret it is how you guys want to interpret it. But I'm just saying, I don't see a lot of let's fire John Harbaugh tweets. I see let's fire Mike Tomlin tweets. Like, listen, if you don't listen, hey, you're a fan. You know you can tell other fan bases around the league, hey, we haven't had a losing season in 18 years. Right. Not every fan base can go, but let's fire him. Okay, who are you going to put in there? The coach from the Water Boy?
Yeah.
Who are you going to put in there? The coach from Gene Hackman from The Replacement? Who are you going to put in there? Listen, this is why Pittsburgh is a respected franchise, because Pittsburgh doesn't fire folks for having losing seasons unless it's really bad. But they have 3 coaches in half a century for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why they're up there in Lombardi trophies.
And by the way, this
too late now.
When it comes to Mike Tomlin, they're not letting him go.
Yeah, exactly. So the people, because the Runers are like this. This guy is one of the. You guys are nuts. Why? Listen, he hasn't gave us a losing season in almost 2 decades. Yeah. Why would we fire him? Like,
even if he did have a losing season, his resume alone should say that he could stay.
Mike Tomlin is. I don't know. I wish there was a way to say this to people out loud. Mike Tomlin has a good chance of retiring with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that may anger you folks, but guess what? Listen, it's not going to be like the whole Belichick thing in New England. Mike Tomlin's going to know when to leave, and when he leaves, guess what happens? Just get his jacket fitted for Canton. That's what's going to happen. And like Devin says, Tomlin brings a winning coach. You know how to win. Yeah, that's the point. And that's why I say, when I keep hearing and the reason why I say because they also play in the same division, So I'm like, so you see the games like, oh well, they don't have talent. Listen, Mike Tomlin coaches what the GM gives him.
Thank
Some of
you.
it ain't been great.
Right there. Right. Hey, no. Let's stay right there. Let's stay right there. Say what you said again, Ladarius.
Listen, the GM goes out and makes this roster, correct?
Yeah.
Right there. Right. So let's stay right there for a sec. Right. The purpose of a head coach, yes, it's to win, but it is to win. To Ladarius's point, and Ladarius is cooking today. I don't know what the hell he had for breakfast, but he is cooking his ass off.
It was nothing you bought, by the way. So
you're right. You 100% right.
I disagree, Ladarius.
All right. But that's Mrs. Wilson, y'all.
yeah,
All right.
Listen. We need more. Listen, you can take away some of his camera time anytime you want to, Kim. Anytime. Listen. Listen, we'll give you, where's Gary? Yeah, he's been replaced. It's fine.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, guys, a coach's job is to win with the talent that you have given him.
Yes.
And to say that you have never had a losing season, that's a mic drop right there.
Yeah.
Right? That is a mic drop. That is, you know what? Oh, who do we have at quarterback? String Arm McGee. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll get you 9 games with him. No problem. Yeah. Tomlin is a first ballot head coach Hall of Famer, and I think that most fans out there, and I'm not going to say most fans, but a lot of fans feel like a coach's job is to win a Super Bowl every year. That's simply not possible. Anybody who knows anything about football, that's not possible. It is your job to win, but it's your job to win with the talent that you have. And really some of this, and I'm not placing blame, but unless the Steelers go out and get another quarterback, it's going to be it's going to be 9-8, 10-7. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have a quarterback to take you to that next level, that's what it's going to be. So to a certain extent, Mike Tomlin himself is a victim of his own success, because if they sucked one year, maybe they could be higher up in the draft to select a quarterback. They haven't, right? So if you're going to say you want to fire Mike Tomlin, these are also the same people who probably, I don't know, hate Star Wars and probably, they just, I don't know, they don't like ice cream, they're different. And look at, this is America. You got the right to feel how you feel. But as far as I'm concerned, Mike Tomlin is not only a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he is refreshing because he literally does not bitch and moan. He takes what you give him and makes the most out of it. He is the king of turning lemons into lemonade. And again, I'm going to shut up because, hey, Ladarius, you won it today, bro. It's your show. You got it. I got nothing further to add to that. That was perfect. That was a perfect take.
I mean, dude, you really did. Hold on. For a second, I was like, okay, we'll just throw this in. Man, Ladarius killed it. And by the way, and that's not how I wrote it. It was like, who had the biggest letdown? The bigger letdown. Was it Baltimore or was it Detroit? And you could say Detroit. Or it's like the answer you say is not. It's not debatable because you can say either one.
I'm not, because here's the thing. Detroit's going to be fine because Dan Campbell's there. They may not win 14, 15 games next season, but they're going to be in the playoff hunt. They're going to be fine. But for Baltimore, all I'm saying is that, listen, if we're going to have a conversation about Mike Tomlin, why not have a conversation about John Harbaugh? That's my point. And people going to say, oh, you want him fired? No. I'm just saying, let's bring that same energy that y'all be bringing toward Mike Tomlin. Look at the resumes. They each have a Super Bowl. They're 1 year apart in terms of they were hired. They've been at the same job nearly 2 decades. They in the same division. So listen, if I tell people, hey, give Mike Tomlin a franchise quarterback, listen, y'all not gonna really like him because he's gonna be there for life. Yeah. You give him like a Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson type dude, it's over.
It's over.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, so I just want people to have that same. I'm all about having people having the same energy. Like,
Yeah.
don't justify, oh, John Harbaugh. Oh, don't make it about Lamar. No. He's had one head coach. Why not we talking about the head coach? When
Yeah.
you go to a company, I could talk about the employee, but who's over the employee?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the department? Like,
Yeah.
You know,
it's easier to
brought
fire an
this up.
employee. It's a lot harder to blame the person who hired him.
You brought this
That's
up,
true.
but I got to go here. I started feeling that way when I watched that one game. Oh man, he's next.
He dropped out.
he
He
dropped
literally
off,
meant he
but
had to go. Wow.
oh
Okay.
shoot! I hope he doesn't have to go because, like I said, he didn't send me a message. But anyway, he'll pop back in. I know because that was just a. But no, what I was going to say is that in the same space as what we're talking about, if he gets a guy, watch out. Tomlin would have stability in the offense and know exactly where to go. So, and then we could definitely go from there. My thing is this: when I was thinking about that question, I kept going. You get me a guy like Tomlin, or it's like the game against last year where Baltimore had everything they wanted. What did they do? They abandoned what they were good at. And I still, to this day, never understood that strategy. So, all right. It is that time. Ladarius, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm calm. I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm good.
It's time for laying it down with Laddy Daddy. All right,
I need to hire like a guitar guy.
Yep.
Man, find some BB King. Find that kind of.
Oh yeah, we might have to, man. I'll have to expand the budget.
I thought it so. Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, I would say more like Jacob Fatu the way you went, man. You went.
Yeah.
Full.
Listen, no one could ever be Jacob Fatu.
No,
I keep telling y'all. For those who watch the wrestling show, listen, Jacob Fatu is a Lifetime movie. Okay.
Yes, he is.
He's the guy that's outside your window. I love it. That's not good. That's not healthy. If you love someone, they should be in the house with you, right? There's a reason why he's outside of the house. I'm just putting it out there. Like, listen, a lot of Law and Order cases have happened that way. So, but anyway. Yeah, I'll take some of those fries. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard that. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take some of those fries. Yeah. Yeah, chicken sandwich, extra pickles.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't realize the mic picked that up. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when it comes to food, even if you didn't have the mic on, I would have picked it up.
Yeah, we all would have. We would have been like,
Look. So then I said, "Ooh, is that fries we talking about?"
Hold on. Homeboy's got Chick-fil-A. We're already drooling over here.
Yeah. It's like, listen, we got to talk about that contract though. But we'll talk about that offline. Absolutely. Kim's been a game changer today, so it might change my mind maybe 5%. For Kim, 20%. And for the record, Kim, it was in the negative, so he's in the positive now. So you should love your wife and thank your wife. Because listen, she probably saved your job today. So
I appreciate it. You know what? As she has done so many days.
You know what, Kim? I'm gonna call the Nobel Prize people. For doing it, because listen, it was up to me. Anyway, now back to the playoff segment here. We got now, as we know, with AFC and NFC championship games, I'm just gonna give like 3 matchups to look out for in each matchup here. Like I say, I'll have like a full preview of both games out this weekend. But we look at the Commanders traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to face the Eagles. The first matchup I'm looking at is Jaden Daniels versus the Eagles front seven. And the reason why I say that, Jaden Daniels, of course, we've seen the success he's had in the playoffs. He's only been sacked 1 time. And so, to me, the key is how do we get into his face? How do we because not a lot of folks have made Jaden Daniels feel uncomfortable, especially in this postseason. And that's a credit to, listen, not everybody has tape on you. Rookie quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels benefit from not having tape on them. So unless you go back to college. So now teams are looking at how to stop him. So one of the keys is get into his face, make him throw the ball where he doesn't want to throw it. Make him uncomfortable. Make him go through his reads a little bit quicker, and the blitz can do that to you. Now, the second matchup is Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback for the Eagles, versus Terry McLaurin for the Commanders. That's a key. For Jaden Daniels, we've seen that Terry McLaurin has been a very huge asset for Jaden Daniels. Quinyon Mitchell is in the rookie of the year defensive. He's in the conversation for a reason. And to me, I'm not saying you have to shut down Terry McLaurin, but we've seen how Quinyon Mitchell has played this season and has stood out in that Vic Fangio defense. That's a matchup to look for to see who Jaden Daniels goes to. Like there's Zach Ertz and you got Dynamic Brown, but I think he wants to find Scary Terry. I'm not talking about our Terry. Terry's scary enough. But the point is, we're talking about, Terry McLaurin. I should have provided some edification on that. So that's on me as the journalist and the professional. I should have did that. But seriously, Terry is scary. You see him with that hat. But anyway, now and I thought mute meant he couldn't hear me. Well, that's what I know about technology. That's on me. That's a 15-yard penalty on me, but I don't take it back.
Wow. Oh wow.
Like I say, I think we should hire Kim. Yeah, because that Terry guy. Oh my God. Man, you want to talk about waking up? That's okay. That's okay. All you gotta do is just say a couple of words, and we're good. Just tell just say listen. Hey, it's better than what T will some days. Like, yeah, you know what? Is Kim's presence there? That's great. We don't do anything else. Terry, you can clock out. You can clock out early today.
Oh my God.
Half pay, quarter pay, not half pay, quarter pay. So, and I think the last matchup to kind of look for, and something, listen, how do it's Saquon Barkley versus the Commanders? Because listen, stopping Saquon Barkley is the same way you feel. Like there's certain players that you don't tell you in the meeting, you don't say how you stop them, it's how you contain them. Mm-hmm. That's Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley has shown not only is he impactful in the passing game, but also in the run game. He's impactful in every aspect of this offense. So I think that's kind of something to look out for moving forward. And I think in this game, how do the Commanders, especially, I think he's going to probably get some matchup with some linebackers out there in the flat. Maybe they may send a safety or a corner, but it's going to be interesting. How do they contain or potentially stop him? It's a hard task to do, but it's something to look out for. So that's the NFC Championship. The AFC Championship is the one, like in the Beauty and the Beast, it's a tale as old as time. It's the Bills, it's the Chiefs, it's the top two seeds in the AFC. So basically, you look at this matchup, you look at it on paper, it's basically a coin flip. It's a toss up if you're betting on it. So I think Kansas City it's like a 1.5 point favorite. And like Devin says earlier to the other point, they need to load the box, and DBs need to be able to handle the Eagles wide outside, one-on-one all night. And that's going to be key too, because if the focus is on Saquon, then you have to focus on how do we stop A.J. Brown, how do we stop Devontae Smith, how do we stop Dallas Goedert. So listen, the Commanders' defense, Dan Quinn has his work cut out for him in that regard. So going back to the Bills and the Chiefs, listen, they know one another. Listen, let's start at the obvious. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Both of these quarterbacks, listen, for Josh Allen, to me, in my opinion, this is the best opportunity if you want to beat Patrick Mahomes is this season. Because this team won 15 games in the regular season and didn't score 30 points in a game. Teams that were absolute cheeks scored 30 points in a game, but not the Kansas City Chiefs, who were, many people said, the best team in the league. So there's susceptibility there where this offense, not the way it was, not the way it's been. So that's something to kind of, and for Josh Allen having his best season, listen, the Chiefs defense, it's easy to say, well, how do they stop him? Once again, for Josh Allen, the key is knowing when to run it and knowing when to throw it is going to be key for him. Because there will be moments where the Chiefs coverage is very, very good. That's when you can get those 10 yards that he gets those chuck yardage plays, specifically on first down. Because like I said, it's about condensing the game, making it easy for yourself in the run game, whether it's Josh Allen's legs, whether it's James Cook's legs, whether it's Ty Johnson's legs, whether it's Ray Davis's legs. I don't care who has the ball for the Buffalo Bills in the run game. It's about condensing it. It's about making it simpler against the Chiefs. It's about keeping Patrick Mahomes in his coat, drinking some Gatorade. That's a huge key. So So I think Devin has a great question. I believe, yeah. Oh, Devin, I saw the joke, Devin. Terrible. Yeah, that's the 4 years in a row. But listen, so jeez, if you're a Bills fan, what Devin Dowling said is not a reflection of the C-Double review show, reflection not of myself, Laddie Daddy, maybe C-Double T will, if he shares his prize, I'll reconsider his contract. Now, so that's the obvious matchup. Another matchup is kind of it, and I just kind of weeded into it. It's the Bills' run game versus the Chiefs' defense because the Bills, listen, James Cook led the National Football League in rushing touchdowns. They drafted him to kind of be that guy to kind of take the pressure off of Josh Allen in the red zone when it comes to rushing touchdowns. You want to protect your biggest asset, and for every team, it's the quarterback. So how do we protect Josh Allen? Let's get a guy who can go in there in the red zone and get those touchdowns, or maybe those big plays to get those. And that's been James Cook. For the Chiefs, like, what are we going to see from Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, like like it's going to be interesting to see how they stop the run game because I kind of feel like the passing game there. I believe we might see Josh pass it a little bit more than when he sees running it. Then we see the running, but that's just based on previous that high scoring game they had in the AFC championship game. I think it was a couple years ago. So that's something it's kind of to look out for. Although Devin says, I live in the middle of Mills Mafia. Sorry, not you, Davis Mills. I'm in the middle of Bills Mafia, so I hate the Bills. Chiefs have beat my team twice in the Super Bowl. Go NFC. Hey, you know what, Devin? Wasn't Devin on the wrestling show too?
I think so. Yeah, I think Devin was. Yeah, Devin followed us over here, so that's good.
Yeah. You know what, Devin? We'll send you a T-shirt, or I'll give you half of a fry that T will probably never give me. But we'll get that out to you. We'll get it out to you. And also, and to me, the third and final matchup is simply put, it's Sean McDermott versus Andy Reid. Now, on paper, it looks like a clear mismatch. But here's the thing. I think Sean McDermott has to figure out a way to keep Patrick, like I said earlier, keep Patrick Mahomes on the bench, but more specifically, take out Travis Kelce. I think if you take out Travis Kelce, I understand. They have Xavier Worthy, but the safety blanket for Patrick Mahomes, pretty much his entire career, has been Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
If you can somehow contain and/or stop Travis Kelce, Sean McDermott has to find a way. Whether you kind of double team with some linebackers, maybe you potentially use like a safety to drop in coverage. I think that's the matchup looking for. And for Andy Reid, how do you keep because here's the thing. We're not talking about Patrick Mahomes and that ankle. That ankle does not feel 100% to me. And when he said that had suffered that little mini anchor injury. So how do we get to Patrick Mahomes? Because listen, there's vulnerability on that offensive line, specifically that left side for Kansas City. So if you're Sean McDermott, are we going to see a lot of Von Miller coming back? Who are we going to see blitz? Terrell Bernard? Like, who are we going to see? We may not we're going to see how many. Are you blitzing 5, 6? So I think the chess match we're going to see between those two is going to be very, very important. Because once again, when you're familiar with somebody, it's like this. It's funny. I'll use a baseball term. When the Yankees always play the Red Sox, they already don't like each other. So there's that extra motivation that you want to beat them, throw away the records. But for I think for this Bills Chiefs match, you can throw out the regular season. It's postseason time, and I feel that we might be in store for another high scoring game because I think the Bills know how to score on Kansas City, but it's the beating part that kind of gets them in the end. So if Patrick Mahomes has the ball last, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I see Dalton Smith said Cowboys are closing in for hiring Brian Schottenheimer. That sounds about right. Because listen, I didn't mean to go off track. I'll do some time because C-Double gave me the cue to take over, but he's not there. He has a lovely home, by the way. If you look in the background, like I feel that I've been haven't got an invite yet, but But that's neither here nor there.
Mm.
So that's my kind of my take on it, and I guess I don't want to take the wheel from C double. But so
You're good.
now we talked about it, gave the preview. Hopefully I did a decent job.
No,
But
you did great, brother.
so my question to you guys, I don't know if you want me to do it C double, but I'm curious to now, who are we going to see in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans?
Let's
Oh,
talk about it.
so
Who's your
who are we
pick,
going to
Steve
see?
Will?
Oh, I look it. Not to take away from Patrick Mahomes. I think Mahomes is a great quarterback. You know what? On his way to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no doubt in my mind that the Chiefs have had all the help in the world this year. Okay? I would be remiss if I did not say that. Specifically with that game against our beloved Falcons when the defensive back committed assault against Kyle Pitts in the end zone. And the ref is right there and says nothing. Okay? And there are a whole bunch of franchises other than the Chiefs that have the same story. So, this is not reflection on C-Dub or Ladarius. But in my humble opinion, if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, it is with an asterisk beside it. Because this year, and I'm not going to go to previous years, but this year, in my humble opinion, there has been an effort, I don't want to say an agenda, but a concentrated effort on making sure that all of the calls or most of the calls go their way. Okay? So with that being said, I'd love for the Bills to go. I love Pat Mahomes, but they got 3 and 5 years, and I just feel like if it had been fair, that'd be one thing. I don't think the way the Chiefs games have been reffed or called or officiated this year has been fair. I don't think it's been fair at all, and I think most folks, not named Chiefs fans, would agree. So for me, I'd love to see the Bills and Washington. That's my heart. My head says it's probably going to be Chiefs-Eagles again.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. Oh, we got Carrie back. Hold on, let's get her back here. Hey, Carrie, welcome back.
Hi guys, couldn't miss out on the fun. I had to come back.
Oh, okay. Well,
Welcome back.
Okay.
yeah. Let's go
Sorry,
ahead and ask.
you missed me going off earlier, and
Oh, did I?
it was probably for the best. It was probably for
Yeah.
the best.
Oh no, he stood on business about.
Can I at least know what it's about? Was it about Lamar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or yeah,
yeah.
Lamar, but in the Lamar, he basically is calling out fans for challenging Mike Tomlin when you have a
Right.
guy who's still.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like C-Dub covered it. Like basically, I'm calling out fans. If you're calling out Lamar, why aren't we calling out John Harbaugh? That was my whole thread because all I hear people say, "Oh, let's fire Mike Tomlin." I haven't heard any fire John Harbaugh kind of chants yet. So,
Yeah.
like Lamar is the coach too. That was my whole argument. It was I had to calm myself. I had to leave the air for a minute because I was like, I think people down in Baltimore probably did a little snip to the electronics, but I'm not gonna I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, but
Right.
but yeah. So basically, my whole argument was, when we talk about conversation about Lamar, not doing this, I think we need a conversation about John Harbaugh because I hear a whole bunch of energy about Mike Tomlin, who took in 3 different quarterbacks, starting them in the playoffs, and John Harbaugh had Lamar Jackson for 8 playoff starts and hasn't been to a Super Bowl. We choose not to have that conversation. We choose to blame Lamar, and I think I don't like. To me, I didn't like the energy. I don't like that we're going after Lamar, and we're not going after John Harbaugh. But all here in Pittsburgh, we're not blaming Russell Wilson. Nah, we're going to blame Mike Tomlin, and I think that's just a cop out. It's lazy, and I went on this whole. I went on this whole thing.
Right, Ladarius, and to your point, I see the same thing, the same kind of rhetoric with like Joe Burrow, for example. He had arguably his best season statistically, but people try to argue that he's not, one of the top elite five quarterbacks, elite four quarterbacks in the league, and oh well, he didn't make it to the playoffs. Okay, so what? He's supposed to outplay the defense. He don't play defense. Their defense was not good. Okay, and coaching was also suspect at times from Zach Taylor. So and it's in the same regard that you can't just hold one person accountable and not someone else. Like you need to hold for Lamar, you need to hold the coach accountable. Just like I said that last game, why are you? If Lamar's not having a good game, why are you not trying to run the ball in? Both 2-point attempts that failed, they had him throwing the ball, right? But
Yeah, and I'm
especially in those weather conditions, and you already see they're fumbling the ball away. So I think coaching should have a, partial part of the blame as well. And just like the Burrow conversation is like, how are we only blaming Burrow? They said, oh, well, Burrow should have outplayed, he should have carried the team on his back. So I guess they think Lamar should carry the team on his back and he should outplay the bad coaching at times. I don't know. I
Exactly.
just think that's not fair,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, and that was my whole point with the whole Lamar, and it's like to me, it's more disappointing in Baltimore because of John Harbaugh. It's not because of Lamar. Lamar makes mistakes. Cool. Yes, I'm not defending
Right.
them, but at the end of the day, John Harbaugh is not getting that same heat that Mike Tomlin gets, and they have eerily similar resumes.
Right.
Because if I take their names off their resume and told you pick the coach who has the resume, it's going to be 50-50. And so that's me. And like I see Devin saying, I thought about this yesterday. The big four for me were Brady, Manning, Wahlberg, and Breeze. Now it's Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow. Now, yes, that's
Yes.
because that's an excellent comparison because the conversation is, listen, Brady is this, Mahomes is this generation's Brady. If the on the route he's going, the question is going to be who's going to be like that Roethlisberger or Manning. Who's going to at least get a Super Bowl ring? Will it be Lamar? Will it be Allen or will it be Burrow?
Mm,
Because who's going to be this? Because to me, the AFC is the way to go. It's been that way for quarterback for the last 20 years.
right.
So, just my overall point is that I just want the same energy that
Yeah, I'm
people
with you.
are giving. Like John Harbaugh had a Super Bowl. Well, you know what had a Super Bowl too? Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin basically won with Shane Falco, Willie Beeman, and Eric Bud at quarterback. Went to the playoffs
Oh
and
wow!
basically
Beeman.
and basically John Harbaugh had the same. He's had the same dude for the last, and yet the best you can do is like, but yet let's fire the guy who has never had a losing season. That's real great. You know what? That's like basically saying, hey, let's get rid of Bill Gates back when Microsoft was booming. You know what? That Bill Gates guy's not good enough.
Mm,
He made us millionaires, but that guy is that's the same kind of thing. Bill Gates didn't have a bad year. Bill Gates was able to step away. You know who else is gonna be able to step
right.
away? It's gonna be Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's going to control his own future, and Mike Tomlin's going to tell you guys when he's done. Not the other way around, because how do I know that? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers had two coaches retire. They wouldn't fire, they retire. So when you have a job like Mike Tomlin and you haven't had a losing season, but yet John Harbaugh, oh, two losing seasons in 17 seasons. Oh, that guy's great. He's fine. Oh yeah, he's like no. All I want is the same energy. That's all I ask for because I see people. Let's fire Mike Tomlin. Listen, you're the same. The people who want Mike Tomlin fired is the same people wonder why that they get fired from their job for being late 3 out of the 5 days out of the week for like a whole month. Like, oh, why am I fired? Because you don't show up on time. That
Mm-hmm.
you don't like people who do their job and be consistent. That's a you problem. That's not a. If you don't like Mike Tomlin, then you don't like success. You don't like consistency is not terrible. Okay, consistency keeps you out of trouble.
I would die
So
to have that kind of consistency for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just saying.
exactly, and like I was saying earlier when you were gone, like like me and T, when we're talking, like, look, here's the thing: if Mike Tomlin gets fired, if they decide he lets go, 80% of the league would say, hey, how much will it take to get Mike Tomlin here? they would fire the person they just hired if they knew they had a shot at getting Mike Tomlin.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like just but yet, but you know what Pittsburgh said? They could have, if he was so bad, he could have been traded to the Bears. But you know what Pittsburgh said? Nah, we like our guy.
Mm-hmm.
We like him because he wins, and so he gives us the best chance to win. So that was just kind of summation. I'm sorry, you may take away from UC Dub. I apologize.
No, you're good. All right. So let me catch up on the comments since we have the crew back. So, yeah, Devin Doyley, he met us through the wrestling. So he's football and baseball. Baseball's his sport. And Cowboys are choosing Brian Schottenheimer as their next coach. That looks like it's about to be
Like I said, like I told you, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Sports SPSP.
I know Sports PSP, great podcast. They have a great podcast.
Like and subscribe to the podcast. Chiefs have gotten away with so many calls. Respond to Terry. Hey y'all, I've been listening.
Hey,
all right,
Christy.
we see you. It's
Hi,
good
Christy.
to see you. Miss
Hey,
you,
Christy.
girl.
Birdo.
And then we got Birdo. Right,
What
rice,
up,
beans,
Birdo?
and fried chicken for lunch today.
Hey, Birdo's my guy. Hey, Birdo.
Hey, Birdo.
Birdo ain't gonna share, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Got right rice and fried rice is for lunch today. So or fried chicken. So you know what,
Sounds good.
Birdo, just send me some. That's all I ask.
He ain't
Talk
gonna
your
do it.
talk,
I'll tell you that
Terry.
much.
The best he can do is well done steak. That's the best he can do. I'm sorry, C-Dub.
Look, that's a Latino man. When you have fried chicken and white rice, you know you like that.
Well, me, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the full show.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
I
We're doing
feel
great.
the hunger of
great.
the Bills will overpower the Chiefs. Yep, I'm hoping so too. I thought about yesterday. The big four for me growing up was Brady, Roethlisberger, Breeze. Brady, Roethlisberger. No, no Rivers. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a sound point.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is. It is a sound.
Can
Now
I ask you guys a question after we get through all the comments?
Yeah. Now it's Mahomes, Lamar, Barrow, and Allen. I kind of agree with that. Do you all see where the Bills fans donated to Mark Andrews
Yes, we
Foundation?
did.
I thought that was cool.
They're up to I think 98,000.
Yeah, they're pushing 100K. Yeah.
Shane Falco, you mean the footsteps of Falco from
Oh my God.
State? Shane Falco.
I love that reference.
Yeah.
Love that reference, by the way. He dropped 2 movies. He dropped The Replacements, which is Shane Falco, and Any Given Sunday, which is Willie Beeman. I thought that was great. I really did.
Yes, he did. He did. Well, Darius is awesome that way. Falcons go out and get Clifford Franklin from the Replacements.
Listen. Yeah. Keep him away from that Stickum, and we'll be all right. Keep him away from that Stickum.
Man.
Here we go. And then we got thanks, Carrie, for keeping those bearded bandits in line. Trust me, it's hard.
Yeah.
I love it.
I say it. I'm a live wire, so you have to be careful with me. All right. So hello, everyone. Cool as Trey. Now, Terry already kind of said his Super Bowl pick, so we're gonna go around after these 2 games. The NFC and AFC. Carrie, what you say?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you guys a question on. So I guess it kind of fits that same question you have for me. I'm kind of torn, to be honest. I know the easy pick is probably the Bills because we don't really want to see the Chiefs make history, and it's just, for me, it's not even about that personally. It's getting boring at this point. I'm personally just tired of seeing them in the Super Bowl, especially in a year like this where Mahomes really hasn't had a great year statistically, and they've gotten bailed out in a lot of games. They've had some really lucky calls. I just feel like this is not the year they deserve it. But on the other side of the coin, maybe this is just me being like bitter as a Falcons fan. I don't want the Bills to win their first ever Super Bowl because that's one more team that has won a Super Bowl when the Falcons have yet to win a Super Bowl. So I don't want it to be like we're the only team who hasn't won a Super Bowl. You feel me? So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want the Bills to win a Super Bowl. What do you guys think of that? You don't mind the Bills win a Super Bowl, or?
I would love for the Bills to win a Super Bowl, and because let's be real. There are probably 7 or 8 franchises that have never made it to the Super Bowl. So even if the Bills do, it won't be that the Falcons, we're the only team to have not. I just think, hey, the Bills went to 4 and lost 4 in a row. I have some friends who are Bills fans, and I don't have an issue with them winning it. Now, I definitely want, obviously it's between us and our Falcons. You already know my, loyalties lie, but the Falcons aren't in it this year. So for me, I'm okay if the Bills win it. I don't want to see the Chiefs win another one this year just because I don't feel like they deserve it. Or if they do, let's have the Chiefs and the refs that helped them, play in that Super Bowl. That way they'd have a team of about 70, right, instead of 53 for the Super Bowl. Because look, I think this year the favor that they have gotten from the refs is obvious, and I don't feel like they're deserving. I know they have a great defense. I don't want to see them win it, but that's me. Ladarius, C-Dub, how do you guys feel about the Bills winning a Super Bowl before us? Would it bother you?
Ladarius, go ahead.
CW go.
I am the host. All right. No, it wouldn't. If anything,
I could be the only petty one here.
No, well, it's not even that. Look, well, hold on.
Man.
Hold on.
Wait, C-Dub. Wait, see, you see, I haven't been really that petty today. Other people have. You know what? See, when you're king petty, you can't be petty every day. Sometimes you bestow the power upon others, and today it's Carrie. He stole my powers, and there will be legal action toward him. But nonetheless, great to see. Great, you love to see it. You love it. Doing a great job, Carrie. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Thank you.
T-Will, 5 out of 10. Now, with the Bill Clinton thumbs up. Thank you.
So, all right, let me say this. I have seen the Bills have to lose to the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Okay.
So I look at it as if they got in there, first of all, if they got in, I'm happy for Josh Allen. I'm happy for James Cook. Even no shoes Mac Hollins would be hilarious because he's a wild one.
Forgot about him.
There are guys on that team, and it's like this. I feel the Bills deserve it. Honestly, I feel the Bills and the Ravens were the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, I am sick of the Kansas City Chiefs.
So am I. Me too. I'm with you, C-Dub.
I am sick of the Kansas City Chiefs and the refs. It has gotten so ridiculous.
Can I ask you something, C-Dub, then? Say it wasn't the Chiefs. Say it was somebody who's already won a Super Bowl, maybe like the Ravens versus Bills. Is it just more so that the Chiefs, with the season they've had, you still want the Bills. It's not that you just really don't want the Chiefs to win another one. Okay.
Honestly, I would still want the Bills.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because I like their story. You got to understand that fan base is supremely loyal, and if anything, it gives me hope that this is something we can get. I don't look at it as petty. Now, petty is, or for me, I don't want to see the Eagles or the Washington Reds or Commanders win because that's my petty. Because I look at those two and I go, even though we beat the Eagles, I just can't stand Sirianni. And then number two, I don't want to see Dan Quinn happy, so I don't want him winning the Super Bowl. Especially after what he did to us in our Super Bowl. So that's where I go. So that's where my petty goes to, is on the NFC side. But on the AFC, no, I look at the Bills and I would love to see them perform and do their thing, because the thing about not only that, they have failed in the games against KC, and you just go, it's almost like this. You got to do it. Just do it now. And it's going to be hard, because I'm going to tell you, like Terry said, as soon as one flag goes, the rest are going to follow. And we're all going to look at everything. So, to me, this is going to be the one game everyone's going to be looking side-eyed the most.
Right.
Because I think the Bills should be able to go in there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We have not seen the Chiefs play an A game. And when they do, you'll get Tony Romo, hopped up on Patrick Mahomes' love or Chris Collinsworth or, whoever else wants to, love on Patrick Mahomes the way they do. But it's just, you look at it and you go, yeah, I'm sorry. It gets nauseating. And then when the calls, they have to do so many Olympic. If you notice, Troy Aikman did not sell anything. He just was like, yeah, that's a BS call. And when he said that, I went, thank you. There, I mean, that's what we all have been wanting to hear. So, all right, Ladarius, you go for it.
Give me the Eagles. You know what? Like I said, if there was one team that, like I said, the Chiefs, you said they're very susceptible, haven't scored 30 points in a game all season. And yet they 15-2 in the regular season. If there was a team that can go toe-to-toe with them, it's the Buffalo Bills. Because we saw that great all-time classic AFC Championship game. Like, I feel like if the Bills can have the same offensive explosion that they've had so far, I think this could be the year. I think the 3-peat might not happen. Because at some point, it catches up with you. Just like we saw with Detroit, the injuries caught up with them. Like, at some point, your biggest flaws will catch up with you. And it's how you handle it and how you manage it. And I believe the Chiefs' biggest thing is that offensively, they're just not, and it's no disrespect to Andy Reid, no disrespect to Mahomes, they're just not dynamic this year. Like, we've seen terrible teams able to score 30 points in a game, but a team who was the top seed in the AFC can put up 30 points in a game. So that being said, I think Buffalo, listen, it's a coin flip game. It's a coin flip game. You go to Vegas, you talk to people. Like, the room is split because here's the thing. You have one side of the room you have primarily Chiefs fans that say, we want a 3-peat. We want a 3-peat. But you got the other side of Bills fans, and it feels like 2/3 of America feels like they want something different. Because I guess in them variety is the spice of life, which can be applied to a lot of aspects, but we're talking about football here. So the point is, T. Will got the reference. I appreciate it. Now
I got it too.
I saw T with the hands like maybe I said something too close to the vest. Now the point is, I think I'm going to go with the Bills because like I said, I felt that whoever faced the Chiefs in the AFC Championship had the best shot of beating them, and it's Buffalo. Listen, I go like this. Vegas is telling you that they're not sure because Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite, so you might as well say 1.5, 2 point favorites. That lets me know they're not super confident. They saw that they didn't exactly blow out the Texans either. Like, think about that. Like, they didn't once again, they haven't scored 30 points in a game. So that being said, Buffalo, I wouldn't mind Buffalo because listen, they are in a top 3 fan base in the NFL. I'd argue you could put them like in the top 10 of all the sports in terms of their fan base and what they do, like the thing they did for Mark Andrews, the thing they did for the shelter, they do great things there. It's more than a football team to them, it's a community there. And I would love to see them kind of get there and kind of preferably get over the hump because listen, Josh Allen's name, I think it all goes away if he gets to the Super Bowl. So to me, a Bills Eagles Super Bowl I have in my mind. Back to you in the studio.
So, and that's what look. Let me hit these comments real quick before we head out here. So Nick Patrick going down to the NFL ref school and a Chiefs hat on. I'm with you, Carrie. Finally, or family, and then we got, or that was Keith Simmons. We got Chrissy going, I want to see the Bills beat KC. Pitcher experiencing losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Yeah, no. Yeah, that has to be hard. I mean, I remember seeing that. So when I was 9, I went to my first NFL game in Buffalo wearing my brand new white jersey. Grown ass fan shook up a Dr. Pepper can,
Oh,
opened it. Oh man, so he hates those.
that's
Man.
Oh
tough.
God,
What
bro.
about the
First,
last comment?
But dude,
yeah.
who's your team then? Can we trade T Will for a draft pick or a bag of chips?
Yeah. To be
Here
more
we
I
go.
would
specific,
prefer.
I think for a compensatory pick is probably the best we can
Here
do.
we
Oh
go.
wow.
Here
You know,
we go.
we're not trading T Will. I mean, I
Wait,
hate to
wait,
tell
wait,
you,
wait, wait. We're not. Wait, we're
no, we're
not.
We'd have
not.
to all agree on that.
Well, not just that,
We
but we got to get. We don't know what the
listen. How
value.
many shares do I have to buy to take majority ownership? Because you know,
Hmm.
listen, I don't care if it's 51-49. That means he's out. That's fine by me. 51.
Oh,
Listen,
Oh, wow.
That's why. Listen, in the Senate, hey,
okay.
if the vote is split, as the vice president, that's the best job to have. That's how I feel. Listen,
You
give me
lost
that
me
15.
right there, Ladarius. You lost me right there.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
You tell him,
okay. You
kid.
know what? You
Oh,
know what?
That
You know
T.
what,
Will
Kim?
is a
No,
keeper.
wait. Okay. So Kim, no, Kim's gonna say. So Kim, do you want him to stay on the show? If you want him to stay, I will. I'll take my 51% and give T. Will 1.5%, and I think that will solve the problem.
Ladarius, what makes you think you have a choice?
Ah, listen, I got my mom. Listen, I've never had a choice for 37 years, so I've never had a choice. I don't even know what that word means. Choice.
Yeah, choice.
I
Yeah.
love it.
All right, he's a Niners
I
fan.
I
love
love
Okay,
it.
I
What's a
totally
choice?
understand that. My brother's
Hey
a
T.
Niners.
Will, what's choice mean? I don't know what that means. That's
it. Me either,
is that
buddy. Me
is that
either.
is that Latin? Is that Greek?
Look, when it comes to
I've been
Mandarin?
doing
I don't
this
know what it
about
is.
32 years. I don't know.
Oh wow.
So I guess me and T. Will are gonna be on the streets now. Boy, this is not good.
Oh.
At least you understand.
Oh.
nothing personal, it's just business.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like
Ladarius, I'm racing you for the cart, buddy.
All right,
you're
guys. Here's
racing
what we're
me.
gonna do.
That's not good. That's not good.
We're gonna do shout outs and plugs. So plug your stuff, plug what you're doing. I know me and Darius have a few.
Oh my God,
No,
John,
John.
What? I take it.
I take a
Oh.
T-Mobile over Naya
John,
Jack.
I done told you
I
this.
love it,
Now,
John. I
John,
love it.
now you
I
crossing
love
over a
it.
whole nother show with your
Oh
nonsense. And you
Love
know
wow.
it,
what?
John.
What we're not gonna do, John,
I love it,
is that.
John. I
You
love
know
it,
what? As a
John.
matter of fact, you know what, John? I'm about to talk about you maybe having less comments on the show now because
Yeah,
Oh
we may
wow.
have to
I
limit that.
love it, John.
All
You
right.
pay him
We
no
support
mind,
you,
John.
John.
I love it,
We
John.
had John cause a family fight over our wrestling show, so we don't want to go there. All right,
listen,
we gotta wrap up, guys.
I'll keep T Will over John. I'll tell you that much. If I had a vote.
Oh wow. We're keeping John and T. Will,
Oh,
Ladarius.
wow.
No,
All
wait,
right, so
Carrie, that's true. We could. I mean, it's in the budget, but I like a bigger surplus. So,
yeah,
so,
Wow.
so if we just get rid of one, I'll keep T Will. He seems more, he's a veteran. He seems
we gotta
more
keep T-Will.
savvy. He seems like he'll cost less, but feels
Oh
expensive.
wow.
And
Oh wow.
All
but
right,
yeah,
plug your stuff, guys.
expensive in
I got
spirit,
a
but
call
not in
to make.
cost.
So
Oh,
Carrie,
man.
go first.
Did you say Terry or Carrie or
Carrie.
T-Mobile? Oh, Carrie. That's me. You see my name right after my name, the @sign. That's my name on Twitter, where I talk Falcons football. Like 90% of my tweets are all Falcons related, so you could follow me on there. You can also find me on One Time for the Fan. We are supposed to do a show tonight, but I don't know. It sounds like it might get rescheduled. So for sure, find us on One Time for the Fan, Breakfast with One Time for the Fan tomorrow morning.
All right, what's
We'll
up?
be doing a show tomorrow talking about Falcons football. And sometimes I'm here with Beer Gang as well. So thank you guys for having me, and thank you everyone in the chat for supporting the show.
Thank you so much for being. I'll take over C-Dub. It's in my
Oh,
contract.
sorry, and shout out to Kim as well.
Shout
Yeah.
out to you too, Carrie.
Thank you.
And we'll go to Timberland, Terrence Trent Darby, the King, the Third. So
I got you. I appreciate it. First off, shout out to everyone in the chat. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be with us. We appreciate you. We thank you. We couldn't do this without you. Secondly, man, shout out to this all-star cast. I'd be remiss And foolish if I didn't say my wife first. So
Yeah.
shout out to my wife
Yeah,
for being
if you
the
like
star
living,
of
that's
the
the way to
show.
go. If you like living.
Amen. And secondly, shout out to every one of you guys on this paddle. Look, we've been doing podcasts for a while now, and you guys really are like family. And I've made some really good friends, and I really appreciate you guys. Obviously, I appreciate C-Dub, Ron, definitely appreciate Ladarius Brown and his band of renown. Would be nowhere without Kerry and Bodie and Jack Spade. Definitely got to shout out to my one time for the fan crew. And just, guys, thank you for continuing to show your support. Look, it's not easy to podcast. It is not. It is a lot of work that you guys don't see. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for always being there as a resource or sometimes just an ear. Because, sometimes you think of a show and it's not great. And I really appreciate that. And, again, I got to give shout out to the MVP because what y'all don't see is a lot of the ideas that never make it to you because they're stupid. Isn't that right, honey? That's right. So thank you. Definitely want to thank God for being here. Wouldn't be here without him. And last but not least, thank you to Jack Spade and my brother Eric Parker for giving me a start in this business. And there you go. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And Ladarius, hold on.
She said, "Happy wife,
happy wife, happy life." Says,
I'm just making some notes because Terry made an admission that Kim's the real brain, so we got to send her how much more. So we're gonna cut a check out to you, Kim, in the form of cash. It'll be in a briefcase.
Darling.
Yeah, problem is it's coming from T. Will's account though.
Listen, I never said where it came from. That's the key. You think I use personal? Yeah, I would never integrate the show. But if it's T. Will's money, cool by me. But I want, like I said, thank the chat for joining. Also, Ron gonna be here. Ron, thank you for being here as well. This amazing crew. We have C-Dub, Carrie, Kim, and I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh yeah.
Yes, T.
That T. Will guy. Yeah.
Timberland. Oh, the guy who makes the music. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have to pay for it, right? We didn't. Okay, I checked the books.
He is funny.
But you can find me on social media, Twitter and TikTok at Ladarius_Brown, Instagram Ladarius_Brown. Writer and editor for Beyond Women's Sport. I'll be having a piece out about the Women's Royal Rumble. My thoughts on that. I'll be having NFL previews of both the AFC and NFC Championship games. They'll be out this weekend. And I hope all you have an amazing day. C-Double, Carrie, Kim, especially MVP, dealing with. Listen, that Nobel Prize is coming to you. I don't know. I'll make some calls. Calls will be made, and T Will, of course. So, and then Ron here in spirit. So once again, thank you, Chad. Thank you, everybody.
All right, and let's go. Oh, I think so. Carrie or T Will, and there's now me. All right, so
that's all the time we have for the CW.
I want to thank everybody for being a part of it. I loved being able to do shows with you guys. Had a hurried morning, so I apologize over here. But we're going to get everything back in order. Hope everyone was able to stay warm and have a good time here. We appreciate T-Mobile. We appreciate T-Will driving around with Miss Kim. And then we appreciate Miss Carrie. Got to show love there, and also appreciate Mr. Laddy Daddy himself, the one, the only, Mr. Ladarius Brown. You're going to see us a little later today around 5:30. We got some discussions we're going to do, like just a two-man crew where it comes to talking some football. And
I assume that comes with double pay, right? So.
We'll worry about it. Hold on, we make nothing. So I mean, if
you say I make nothing, I say there should be something. So listen,
I agree, but no one's paying us yet. We're trying.
Look.
I got $1. I'll give you $1.
You know what? Just finish your plugs. Finish your plugs.
Oh wow.
Look, I'll give you 2. I mean, I ain't got many money. I don't want money. Hold on. Who carries cash anymore?
Yeah, you got a card. You know, to read the numbers off, and that'd be fine too.
I'm not going to do it over the show. Come on now. Everyone would have my info then. So, and hold on. All of a sudden, people that don't listen are going to be like, okay, we got this. Become the most detailed-oriented person in the world. All right. But yeah, so be ready. We're going to have a little quick show there. And then but this Tuesday, we're going to be talking Saturday Night Main Event, Monday Night Raw, as well as previewing the Royal Rumble. And we got Miss Tanya Ray Fox that's going to be joining us. Oh, you're on mute.
No, I know. I wasn't trying to take over. I was trying to, Tanya.
Tanya. See, this is why I needed you off mute. Don't worry.
Listen. This is. I'm good for something. You know.
Yeah, I know
there's some value I add. It may not be a whole
lot.
lot.
A lot of value. Don't do that now.
You know.
Ron said he'll pay you in food stamps.
Ron, I don't think there's enough food stamps. I don't know. I'm 6'4". I'm a husky guy. I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll talk numbers. We'll talk numbers.
Yeah.
We'll talk numbers.
So yeah, and what was it? So we're gonna have her a part of the show. So Tanya and was someone that Darius did an interview with, and she's gonna join us, and we're gonna talk WWE. Hey, it's coming now. The WrestleMania season's upon us. We got the Rumble finally coming up. We got Saturday Night Main Event this Saturday, so got a lot of good stuff going on. So with that being said, y'all make sure to stay tuned. Always check the Beer Gang. Also check for my ATL Sports 1 with Terry. We're going to be on Monday. And then check out Ladarius' YouTube channel, Ladarius_Brown on YouTube, because he's got some stuff going on, and he's been having some really good interviews you don't want to miss. So, all right. Well, that's the show. I appreciate y'all, and we're out.
Bye everyone.
Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen. Peace.
Adios.